It ain't about fame, it ain't about fake friends. And screw your ex, is such a flake. Forget your grades, you need a break. It's all about you, no matter what the others say. But now I'm done talking, the lights on me. I tell you, I guarantee this night's about to take a turn for the better. Now the rain is pouring and all I see is lightning around my feet. Now nothing can bring me down. I just wanna dance till my heart goes la la la. I just wanna dance. I just wanna dance till my heart goes la la la. I just wanna dance. I just wanna dance till my heart goes la la la. I just wanna dance. I just wanna dance till my heart goes la la la. I just wanna dance. It ain't about money, it ain't about the coolest job. It's about having fun and love the ones that makes you shine. It's all about you, no matter what the others say. But now I'm done talking, the lights on me. I tell you, I guarantee this night's about to take a turn for the better. Now the rain is pouring and all I see is lightning around my feet. Now nothing can bring me down. I just wanna dance till my heart goes la la la. I just wanna dance. I just wanna dance till my heart goes la la la. I just wanna dance. I'm done talking, the lights on me. I tell you, I guarantee this night's about to take a turn for the better. Now the rain is pouring and all I see is lightning around my feet. Now nothing can bring me down. I just wanna dance till my heart goes la la la. I just wanna dance. I just wanna dance till my heart goes la la la. I just wanna dance. Hold on, baby, I don't dance, but how I love to be around you. I'm not scared to take a chance. Yeah, I'm so happy that I found you. And you know that I'm yours, alright. You can tell by the look in my eyes. Don't wanna play it cool, I gave it straight from the heart. Oh, how I love to be around you. We got something better than the others. We can fly higher than an eagle. Take me somewhere we can be together. Oh, how I love to be around you. You can show me how to move, 'cause I don't wanna be sitting alone. I don't care what road you choose. Don't wanna go back to who I was before. And I know that you might know right. I can tell by the look in your eyes. Don't wanna play it cool, I give it straight from the heart. Oh, how I love to be.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a wonderful Monday evening here. I am Freaky G, joined on the cast with Blaze McBain. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna get it right here in a minute, guys. We're here with some AGL NECC kickoff tournament action. Got three best of ones lined up here today. Blaze, how you feeling about this?
I'm excited. Collegiate Smite's back. We get to see all three divisions compete, and it's the finals. They're gonna be best of ones, and best of ones always create such a fun time because sometimes you get these comps that are like, can we just W key it down and
Hmm.
go? And sometimes you get the teams that want to stall it out. The best of ones make for some interesting situations that not all teams are necessarily prepped for, and can make some interesting points with this AP pool that we're doing this season. And we have the AP pool for the returning champions, Marshall, showing them at number 6 coming in, and
Hmm.
then you have A&M Century, who was voted number 1, and obviously they reached their destination being voted there. And I'm excited to see how this first set goes.
Yeah, it's gonna be some awesome Division 3 action starting us off here today, and I'm reaching that potential. The number one team making it all the way to where they were expected to, but as you said before, Marshall was voted the number 6 team out of 7, so they may have beaten the polls, or well, they have beaten the polls in this instance with getting to this point. So I think that has its in its own right uh, a lot to a lot to say about them and what we can expect for the entirety of Division 3 this season.
Oh, for sure. I mean, you're talking about returning champions. They get put at number 6.
Yeah.
I mean that speaks volumes. You come in with a little chip on your shoulder, and you show up to the finals, and you're ready to get it going. So I'm excited to see them here. I'm excited that they just were like, hey, y'all can kick rocks, and we're gonna prove our point and do what we do. So we'll have to see how it goes here in this finals best of one. Here, kicking it off our night, starting with Division 3, and then we'll go to Division 2 and Division 1, one after the other.
Looking at these rosters here too, you said we had some of the returning, one of the returning champions as well. This Marshall University roster, I'm seeing Solo Lane is going to be Thy Saucy Boy. You got Jungle, Dark Exodus 27, Mid Nova, Support Free Bowling, and ADC Wolf VS. So pretty solid roster from what it appears for a Division 3 team.
Yeah, I think both these teams. I think A&M in general has shown
Mhm.
up on this Smite divisions. I mean, I think they have multiple teams competing overall, and I think that makes for an interesting environment when you have multiple teams at the same university. That you can use them as scrim partners. You can really get interactive with your team, help a lower division team maybe be more successful through scrims and talking points. Especially where you can talk face to face.
Mhm.
I think that's going to go a long way. I'm not sure that Marshall is going to have that same bit, but I don't think that's going to hold them back. And obviously, they've been here before. They know how to get the job done. And I'm excited to head into this game. I believe I need to double check. I know there was an issue, I think, with picks and bans from one game, and I believe it was this game, but I don't remember where it got
That
sent
would
to,
that
which would
would
be good.
be problematic. Yeah.
Yeah, Division 3 files. Here we go. I got it. I'm doing work here. I had to scroll a little bit in the chat, but I do have the bans for this game. It had to be remade, so I don't have obviously like pick orders and things like that. We'll have to kind of live with that. But the
Unfortunate.
bans for Amen Century were Ryzen, Chernabog, Pele, Oleron, and Freya
Okay.
banned away by A&M. Not too surprised to see a couple of those bans. They are top picks, top bans. A little bit surprised maybe about seeing Olo and Freya together, but obviously if you don't want one of those two picks, you don't want to deal with them currently. And Marshall banned away Ganesha, Yamoja, Athena, Geb, Kabrakan. They wanted to get away the tanky boys and girls
Yes.
of the Smite realm currently. And those are, if you want to get rid of some tanks, let me tell you, those are the ones to get rid of, I feel like.
Kabrakan especially, he's been showing his face in the meta here quite a bit recently. A very strong solo lane and support at the moment, especially with the buff to absolution means that lack of CC immunity no longer is a problem. That's the same going for a lot of those supports that lack that CC immunity. Absolution, I think, has become quite a strong item in its own right in the correct niches. But going back to that Kabrakan that I was talking about, it was a very strong it's a very strong selection. I'm not surprised to see that one go. In terms of the other bands that you're talking about, it was surprising to see that Freya band and that Oleron band together. And been highly valued, but the lane opponent there for her, Artemis, that's going to be a very strong opponent for that one.
Yeah, I'm excited for this team fight pick. I mean, Artemis, you lead in with that, and you have this Kali that can kind of frag out. Baba's going to give you that space control. It's going to allow Karon and Wukong really to do the work for the back line, and I think the CC for that comp looks really, really good. Obviously, you have the bead burn god of Ares on the
Hmm.
side of Marshall here. I'm a little bit concerned about the front line for this Ama Ares setup, but they have Rad Tarsker and Thanatos as well, so we'll have to see how it goes. We'll have to see what's going mid.
I'm curious myself to see what's going mid, going for that 4 physical composition, the double assassin style. Um, A&M Century, they opted for the double attack speed rather than the double assassin. Got that Artemis and that Kali. Picked up the Karen as well, who really thrives in these double attack speed team comps. I'm really excited to see what A&M Century is going to be able to do and how they adjust to this double assassin composition that they've got. It's a lot of power, a lot of early game presence between the Ratatasker and the Thanatos as well.
Audio issue on my end, and I'm trying to fix it while we're looking at this. I do agree that the dive with the Ratars or Thanatos could be really deadly, but it should be good. I think that's the potential to watch out for. If they can burn the beads and then get this execute kind of comp going, the Ratatasker dive early along with the Thanatos dive afterwards could be drastic. I mean, like you were talking about, if the beads are gone and those two, they could either dunk the same target or dunk two different targets, and it could be an absolute chaos setup for them. So I'm curious, but I am concerned when you have Kali on the enemy side. Kali gets resets going. That can be a little drastic. Well, definitely something to watch for.
I'm gonna paint the picture for you here as far as what Kali's looked like throughout the entirety of this season. Kali has caught a nerf in the last 6 patches of this year. The last 6. That is how strong that god has been, and how much chaos that pick has caused in the ranked scene, in the casual scene, and even at the highest of the high here in like your comp esports. She's just that good of a god in all the right ways. And the most recent nerf that she caught was they reduced the timer on her stem to be more in line with the rest of the characters who had power stems. It's reduced from 8 seconds to 6 seconds. That doesn't sound like a significant amount, but when you're looking at what Kali used to be able to do, the amount of burst she could get off in that first 2 seconds is really what you're looking for. After that, that power buff's going to really help you chainsaw down your enemies. It's just not going to last as long. But take that into consideration. These attack speed builds usually come packed with Kins and Executioner, so we're shredding, we're dealing health based damage. This pick has the potential to do what it always does, and that's carry a game.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those feast or famine gods, and if they get to feasting, they get to moving. Especially, I'm curious to see if we get an Odibo later on in the game for the team fight. That could be something that we get. I think it's just something to watch out for. There's a lot of setup there. Artemis gets a good Tusky off, and then Kali can dive in and start doing work. And I think the one thing to watch out too for is, what is this Artemis going to build? Is this Artemis going attack speed with crit? Is it going the ability based Artemis build? There's a lot of different builds floating around between SPL and just general comp, anyways, with this Artemis. That's something to definitely take into account for and watch for. But again, I'm curious about this Thanatos Ratatasker setup, man. Like I just want to know what the plan is, and that's what I was talking about with these best of ones. Sometimes you can pull out a little bit of a weird comp.
Just throw them off.
Yeah, sometimes it works. So definitely something to watch. I'm curious to see how it goes, and we'll just have to see how it plays out. Especially, I think early game, there could be some pressure put. I think once level 5 comes through, we might see this Rat Thana start diving some lanes and pick some targets to put behind.
And you were talking earlier about the beads burn potential that we were seeing on Marshall's comp. And I'm agreeing with you wholeheartedly. There's a lot of beads pressure. You got Amaterasu, you got Ares. Hey, even if it comes down to it, Ratatasker and Thanatos are going to put pressure on relics that aren't necessarily beads. Your Aegises, your shells, something is going to get burned, and they've got this gas pedal composition. But one thing that I've noticed about Texas A&M or A&M Century, excuse me, A&M Century's composition is that they have a really strong counter engage simply with this Artemis. You got a gas pedal comp and you're trying to walk, say you're in a siege situation, into the tower with an Artemis under it. You've just created possibly one of the hardest scenarios to fight into. It's almost as bad as fighting under tower against an Oleron. It creates havoc beyond belief. So if you're just gas pedaling 5 men and 5-man into tower, and the response is, okay, well, here's Tusky. It's you gotta have to really work with that one. It's a lot to work around. So I'm excited to see just what um, A&M Century do here with this composition. I do think that if they come out of the earlier mid game behind, it's going to be a very difficult situation for them.
And we're finally in the game here. We have over on the red side here, we're going to have A&M Century. And on the
Hmm.
other side, we're going to have Marshall. So we'll have to see how this ends up going here. Everybody's cooking, so that's good. That's always what I'm going to be looking for now when I'm casting. Are they cooking? And if you're cooking, you're doing okay. Nothing too crazy coming along here. It looks pretty standard pickups across the board, except for I think we're having to get used to this idea of war flag getting picked up. I like seeing it now. I love the attack speed and power that it can potentially give, along with some movement speed. So later on in the game, we'll have to see what ends up happening. But I'm excited to see war flag being picked up yet again.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've seen that item have any relevance, and now that with a couple buffs here and there, and some changes to make the upgraded starter or upgraded variants of that starter be more in line with its counterparts and actually give it uh, its own life, uh, we're starting to just start slowly see that pop up, and we're getting an answer to our question here. It's looking like it's going to be a Ratatasker mid, which one thing I got to point out to you here, the starter for him is a Warrior Zax. What do you think about that, man?
I'm down for a little bit of tankiness. I always enjoy a little bit of a tanky rat. I feel like going crit rat is a little bit risky
Hmm.
business. But if the goal is to have a tanky rat that can dive and just live a little bit, and you have an Ares and you have an Amaterasu, it sounds like protect the Izanami, if I had to, say so myself. And as an ADC player, I'm kind of for it.
Yeah, UADC is always complaining about the peel, almost like y'all guys always act like you're the only But got a little bit of a pause here. Nothing we can't work with. But so wait for this pause to go through. I'm as you were saying, it's a little bit of that protect the Izanami, and that's your main objective damage right there. Although Ratatasker likely going to be able to do some of the objective damage of his own, just the nature of being an assassin. Uh, but we're kind of seeing Marshall put a lot of uh, pressure onto Wolf to basically do most of the work for them in these later stage team fights as far as objectives go. And I can foresee an issue with that just in the fact of, like I talked about earlier, Artemis ult could create a major problem. Karen ult could create a major problem because there is no there's not really an answer for relic usage on that one. Oh my goodness. So yeah, there's not really an answer for the relic usage on that. You don't have a CC immune ult, so once the ultimates come out, you've only got your beads, and after that, you kind of got to figure out what to do next, how to keep them safe.
I'm not going to lie to you, freaking.
Hmm.
I heard half. Oh my! I heard half what you said. I'm getting like feedback from something in our program here. We're using a new program, and I did not get to hear half of your thought there. But the part that I did hear, I liked. But I'm getting feedback from the game currently, so hopefully, I think that's been fixed. Maybe I don't know if on their end on Twitch if it's still bad, but I had a really loud noise come through, and my ears
Yeah,
were a little bit off.
little bit. But
But we did
yeah,
see an early rotation there over the duo. So, I mean, I do like the activity here for Marshall. Um, but I think we need to try to get a pause here real quick. Give me 1 second, just to try to hop down and talk to production as the first blood comes through for Hydra on Amaterasu.
And this is another thing that we can look forward to here is we got the Kali jungle coming over here. Looks like she's going to pull the blue under tower just to make sure that Wukong gets his own blue. So Thanatos kind of a bit on a world tour right now. We just talked about him being in left, and now he's over here in right, making his way around.
Yeah, he is getting active here, trying to be as active as possible. And the nice thing about this Thanatos is it's a feast or famine god as well. It does what the Kali wants to do on the other side. Sometimes it's just not as effectively in a team fight situation if Odibo gets going.
As we start to progress through this early game, Acorn picked up for Ratatasker, and interesting point to make here is he goes for the white Acorn, so you're talking about tankiness. And looks like he's going to full commit to that bruiser style Ratatasker as he's picked up the white Acorn, the protection shred. So maybe kind of going for a front to back style of composition here from Marshall, maybe.
And I do think that's the right way to play this rat in the mid lane. I have a feeling maybe it was a flex pick and they just decided to take it to mid. I don't hate it. I think into a Baba Yaga that has that tanky potential it is a good pick. I mean, obviously it's going to be Warlock staff early. It could potentially turn to some more tankiness on the Baba Yaga at that point. And to kind of counteract that in team fights, I think having this rat and Thana go up in the air could be kind of scary, like we talked about earlier. And if one of them's tanky, they're not going to die on that commit to the dive. So it's really there to set up this Izanami, which I think goes a long way.
Yeah, and I love that that idea too. Just this protect the president composition, and you've got a really good comp for it. You're gonna gas pedal forward, and you're gonna really rely on this Izanami to just shred something down. Thanatos goes up into the air. Looks like they're gonna go for a dive onto the Baba Yaga, but ultimate in response, good timing. Also puts that Thanatos up into the air. Ratatasker dashes in, gets the stun, and so does Kali, chasing down the Thanatos, but misses the jump. So he'll survive this time. A very close fight on both sides.
Yeah, Optic looking to keep that aggression going and pick up that second kill. Unfortunately, wasn't able to quite land the stun there and make it happen. But, the thought was there. I like the potential. And now we head back to a little bit of a farm game for both these junglers and over in our side lanes as well.
And looking at we're at the 5, almost 6 minute point, and looking at the gold right now, it's a straight 1K gold lead right now for Marshall. And 2 kills up, 1 kill for the jungle, 1 kill for the solo laner. It's a pretty good way to start your game, especially whenever that's probably where some of your late game's going to be.
Yeah. I think both teams need to kind of think about how they want to structure this game beyond 20 minutes. Like, what's the plan? Because over on the side of AM Century, the plan is we have a comp that's fully set up to commit to what we want to do. We have the bird speed, we have the AoE control, we have someone that can die and just take somebody out. But then if we're on the other side here, it comes to who's going to be the one that dives each time? Are we going to alternate the dive? Are we going to wait for an Ares ult? Is the plan to have Rat go up and then Ares ult afterwards? I think there's a lot to talk about on the side of Marshall, where the team comp and identity for A&M could be really good as Thana dives in here.
Dives in to save his mid laner. Not going to be able to pick up the kill on the Kali, but he got his own mid out, and that's really what's going to make the difference here. Great play from Dark Exodus. Just not very often you see your jungle go in and hard commit like that simply to peel out one of your players. Great job from him. I don't even know how else to say it.
Hey, my jungler ever wants to peel for me like that, I'm down. You want to save my life and get them out of there, maybe potentially pick up a kill. I'm down. That's cool. Let me get under that tower, run away a little bit, maybe throw out some damage afterwards. Let's make it happen.
I run consistently on sololane.exe. Cannot compute what you just said. What is peel? If I'm not peeling for myself, then no one's peeling for me.
There we go. There we go. We might see some
Now,
of that this game. These solo laners are getting active against each other,
yeah,
cranking out some damage numbers. Got to make those player stats look good.
yeah, they're just swinging away at each other, and I mean that's what I would expect, especially when you get the Sun Wukong, Artemis, or I mean, excuse me, Amaterasu. Ultimate comes out from the Amaterasu as well. Ultimate in response from Sun Wukong for that CC immunity. So just some ult trading over in the solo lane. Your typical solo lane day, it's a typical day in the solo lane right there. Just gonna ult each other just to. I call it a heat check, but I guess if you're looking from the outside looking in, it looks like just a slap fight.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I was like, I call it a slap fight. It's like, hey, can we get some numbers going to make it look like we're doing something over here? Can we do that? Because that would be pretty cool if we
I
could.
promise
Like,
I'm not just farming.
yeah, my soul inner. Hey, look at the T screen. I'm like, dude, you're just over there 1v1ing. Like, calm down, okay? Like, there's an agreement over there until a
Where
jungler shows up. All right.
where's the meme of a soul laner that constantly talking about how he has top damage? Well, if you didn't, I'd have a problem with that. Anyways, Karen ult's going to come through. This time the purple buff invade is unsuccessful, and Thanatos may end up losing his life for this one. Tries to go up into the air and gets out of it just in time. Mid's going to rotate over. He gets rooted now as well. Stunned, has to go up into the air himself and follows his jungle out of danger in the same route that he took. Now that's the mid and the jungle from Marshall. Low health and an unsuccessful purple invade after two very successful ones. That was a great response from A&M Century, wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah, the response there fantastic. We also saw like, hey, what's really cool about picking Thanatos and Rat? They can just go up in the air and fly away.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of a good strat too, if you can force a lot of commit over to one area. But both teams used a lot of ultimates there and really walked away with nothing. I mean, I guess you could say A&M's the winner there because they saved their buff and they forced out the ultimates in response. But I think it's kind of just a wash all in all. No one really gains too much from it. And
And
right now, it's slight leads in different roles across the board. But I'm really I'm watching this collie, man, because if any point this collie gets going, it's gonna be a time.
I mean, the for one thing for me with this Kali, if we're looking at it right now, 1-0. That's a great scoreline to have in the first 10 minutes. Yeah, she's not chainsawing her way through people yet. She's not getting those early kills and setting anything up real crazy yet. But what she is doing is she's not dying, which means that's more time that this collie can spend farming, which is typically an issue that we see a lot of times with collies is they're either not farming at all or they're either not farming at all and trying to get kills early, which is not what you want to do, or they're getting kills early, but they're just not getting any of their own farm. They're getting their jungle stolen away because the other jungle is just playing the macro better. Ratatasker's stuck in the middle lane here, going to be able to dash away easily. Nobody caught that. It looked like it was about to be a fight. I'm liking the pressure that A&M Century are putting in the mid right now.
Yeah, and I think they know they can put this pressure here. They have a lot more range poke. And the thing I'm curious about here with this Ratatasker is, can you kill Baba? Like, can you? And I'm not so sure. And there's an ult in response. That's actually kind of huge. I'm not even sure Baba would have died there if that ult had went all the way off. You could have saved that for the beacon fight. That's a big dub for Marshall, as this
Hmm.
beacon fight is going to start in about 20 seconds. And I, in a lot of ways, think that Baba ult's a lot more useful than pulling one or two people with Ares.
That was a very low cost, low committal response from Marsh or for low cost, low committal action from Marshall for such a high value cost and response. I'm very surprised. But meanwhile, that cost is traded in full by Optic getting a kill on the enemy jungle Dark Exodus. Now Ratatasker has a solo laner in the mid lane screaming out, "What the heck is this guy doing here?" So he goes up into the air. So another ultimate having been used, so no mid laner has an ultimate for this beacon, and it looks like Marshall's actually just going to completely give up this beacon. And now, with the solo laner presence, they're going to go over to this Gold Fury, and there's not a single person on the side of Marshall to contest this.
I mean, this is a time where you have to see them all stacked up there. It's a nice little fight. Things go their way a little bit. on the Century side. Now it's like, hey, at the Beacon, are all 5 of us going to show up? And it looks like, hey, we get a
It
Gold
looks
Fury out
like
of it
they're
too.
gonna
That has to be
dive
good.
in. Amaterasu's
Oh
gonna ult to
no!
make sure she doesn't get silenced or feared. Comes in, uses the frenzy, chasing down Sun Wukong. All 4 members just trying to find any bit of damage. Maybe a pullback. Nope. Ultimate from Sun Wukong and over the wall. He is safe. Only the support in trade for the Gold Fury, though. Marshall maybe needed to respond a little bit better to that one. Kali even surviving a very, very close engagement. The ultimate timing out just barely. Amaterasu now being pushed away. This actually could be a bad position for Baba Yaga as he gets the scythe thrown into his face, has to jump away. Silence was already used, couldn't catch that. So just a lot of damage being tossed around, and still only a one for Gold Fury trade.
It's not just that; it's 100 gold difference. Like this is kind of insanity at this point. You figure with
Mm-hmm.
how active teams have gotten on the map. Gold Fury's been pulled, and it just lets you know that gold deficit already existed just from like the taking of small camps around the map. And now on the
Oh,
backside here, someone's gonna fall, and it's gonna be the rat. Can't escape this time as everybody from AM Century decides, hey, surround him and don't let him escape.
pretty sure the ability no escape is supposed to be Ares' thing, but instead it ended up being the entirety of A&M Century's thing there. That was a really good response from them and picked up a much higher value target. A little bit longer after that Gold Fury, but like you were pointing out, it's only 100 gold difference. And it was the team that was behind beforehand that kind of picked up the slack. Now we're looking at A&M Century picking up a Pyromancer as well, and they're going to lengthen that gap to just about 500 gold. If this continues to go, this macro play, this objective play that we're seeing from A&M Century is probably going to spell disaster for Marshall if they don't step up their macro game and make the most of it.
Yeah, I mean the good thing is here it's 3-3 in kills. The gold lead has now taken a turn for A&M. It's taken a turn. We just talked about it a minute ago. It was 100 gold. Now it's drastically more than that, and that's still okay. We're still under that 2K mark, and I think that's fine. And really 2K is not even a mark. I'd say as long as you're within 5K, as the fight breaks out here in the mid lane.
Ultimate's going to be traded in response to the Ares ult. That CC immunity coming in tenfold for the entirety of A&M Century. But it did burn 2 ultimates for the price of one, so maybe a fight could be found here. Ratatasker in the jungle right now. Kali tossing out some abilities. Saw Horrific get burned there. Not sure if that was Karen uh, or if that was Ratatasker. Looks like it was Karen. No, it was Ratatasker actually. So interesting. Looks like they were expecting a much harder engage. Ultimate though is going to knock Karen up in to the air a little bit, but not any follow up on that, which is just even more interesting.
And I want to take a look at it. We have the vital amplifier from Amaterasu. And that item's gonna go crazy. Along with this death toll, there's gonna be a lot of healing, and that almost gonna be really a pain to deal with as this game goes on. You add in the fact that there's a war banner for the Ares, and
Mm.
now Dark's Exodus picks up a kill on the backside on the Artemis.
Ares almost died to tower trying to tank that up for his Izanami, but having to make his way out. Izanami is actually the focus here. Optic gonna find his kill on Dark Exodus once again. Ares fighting for his life under his own T1 now. Manages to survive, but he's not out of the woods yet. Or out of lane, I should say, is around the backside. Comes Optic. He's gonna try to find another kill here. He will be able to get his back off. It looks like that's gonna be a full disengage from A&M Century. But what they have done for themselves here is opened up an opportunity for a potential Gold Fury once again. Amaterasu is a little bit in a tough spot. Catches the dash for a little more damage.
I mean,
Nothing,
I like this
nothing it can't
position
handle.
for Nova and Wolves here because now Marshall has made it to where they, A and M can't just step up and take the Gold Fury. Them
Mm.
hanging around the duo along with Hydra, just keeping vision on what's going on really keeps this Gold Fury under control and is going to allow them to make a play for it if they so choose as the beacon's coming up on the map.
And we got this second beacon popping up. Only Baba Yaga here at the moment. Kali coming up the lane. 3 members of Marshall on the beacon at the moment. Karen is behind them. I don't think anyone knows that Karen's there. Blink in, gonna try to pull. Beads are gonna get burned. Ult's gonna get burned by Baba Yaga. Ultimate comes out to keep Kali alive. How long will it last? Will she be able to survive up into the air? Goes to Thanatos. Nova is gonna be the one that finds the kill. I'm sorry, that was the Ratatasker that goes up into the air, not the Thanatos, but found the kill either way.
Yeah, this is that dive comp that they wanted. They wanted to be able to, select a target, be able to go on them, and then you have the Thana up in the air with the death from above, just to make sure, hey, we missed one, maybe we stun and pick up a kill on another, and now the beacon is going to be looked at here again by Marshall. They're going to stack people on it, go ahead and get that charge a little bit faster, and I'm not going to be surprised if they go straight over to a Gold Fury with the Kali being down.
It would be the best decision to make here. They have to make up so much ground off of that last round of objectives that they lost to A&M Century. Fight's going to happen right on the Gold Fury. Wolves is the first one to go down for Marshall, and the continuing to push that from behind. Artemis now has to deal with a Ratatasker, and an Amaterasu is the few abilities comes out. Artemis just trying to find a way around these rocks. Ares going to land some chains onto Karen, and it's Dark Exodus with a blink in. That's going to find the kill. Karen now chained down. Stun actually misses onto him from the Thanatos and makes his way under the tier 2. Gold Fury's still up. This Ratatasker just hanging around in the backline. Optics finds a kill, but goes down almost immediately to Dark Exodus. Running up the lane as Wolves as they try to maybe pull this Gold Fury again. Baba Yaga ult has gone down. Look at Ratatasker. He's just waiting for this timer. A few abilities thrown. Doesn't look like she's going down anytime soon.
I say, what a tanky boy is the Ratatasker. And Marshall's here, and like they're not super healthy, but they're relatively healthy. They're gonna have to deal with this Wukong that's wanting the game right now. That's gaming's in the name, and that will be just what happens. Able to keep them off, pulling the Gold Fury for now. And they're just going to go look and hopefully pick up a tier 1 tower here now that it's low. They say, hey, we're going to get something for our spoils after, getting a little bit of the gold lead negated that was there just a little bit ago.
Ratatasker's still in a little bit of trouble. Dark Exodus, though, is going to come and clean it up for him. He's still pretty low, under maybe a chance for him to go down. Actually, he's in the air, getting aggressive right now. Lands onto the Artemis. Gets stunned by Tusky, though. He could die here finally. No, he still lives, only for Optic to finally pick him up. Dark Exodus, though, is going to finally find Sentry once again. Now, turning his attention to the Kali. I don't think Kali has ult, and Wolf's is going to pick him up. Now they're going to try to pull in 2, and they will pull in 2 for a double stun off the Thanatos ultimate. Baba Yaga in response, knockbacks to keep him alive. Maybe even get a kill here as Thanatos tries to make his escape. The HP 5 from Ares 2 may be the difference between life and death for this Thanatos. But Blaze, I'm having an issue here. There's a lot of fighting, but it looks like a lot of fighting over nothing.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting a lot of fighting. That's cool. We're getting some kills going one way. Gold lead's starting to go that way too, but there's objectives on the map. There's a Pyro up. There's an Oni Fury. There's a Fire Giant. You could go look at any of those things and split it up a little bit. I do have to say, I do have to give a shout out to Dark Exodus there. The pre-beads to pick up that double kill and make sure everything went the way that they wanted was pretty sick. I do have to give it to them.
Yeah, that's very impressive play from him. And as this game goes on, I'm looking at the builds a little bit. And first thing I'm noticing is we're going for a triple bruiser composition. I mean, Ares has a divine, goes into Berserker Shield, doesn't even want the the aura build to get the power. He just said, "Screw it, I'm gonna do my own thing, get my own power." Ratatasker hasn't built a single power item aside from his acorn, and that's still a bruiser item. And double attack speed or double offense items on the Amaterasu. There's no real true tank here for the Marshall team, which may be one of the reasons why these team fights are always so messy for them. Speaking of team fights, we're watching one go down. Beads actually gets burned, but not off the Ares ult. Thanatos goes up into the air alongside the Ratatasker, looking for a target to land on. Thanatos does not want to land in that T1, and neither does Ratatasker, so that's the end of that engagement.
I'm actually a little surprised they decide not to take the commitment there because I really do think they might have been able to. They and I appreciate the patience first and foremost, because most teams, when they both go up, they are committed. The fact
Oh
that
yeah.
they didn't shows that, comms are nice and clear. They're communicating. Things are going well. But I think they could have
Oh,
dunked on somebody.
comms are clear, and so is the initiation here. They're going to try and find another kill in a different fashion. Aries goes up into the ultimate. Optic will find the kill onto Dark Exodus. Aries soon to follow, as long as Kali can get in there and find those autos, and he will, two for the price of none this time in favor of A&M Century, chasing down the Amaterasu through the Gold Fury pit. Wolves going to make his way out down the left lane. And now all of A&M Century have turned their attention over to the Gold Fury. Meanwhile, the stun is so long that Optic finds his third kill, triple kill for the jungle of A&M Century.
I mean, not just that. The Oni Fury was taken. The objective
Mm-hmm.
has fallen after, what feels like 10 minutes since the last Gold Fury. We finally
Mm-hmm.
see another objective take on that. The Pyromancer did fall a little bit earlier, but I mean that's huge here. I mean, you're going to see a little bit of that gold lead go back the other way now, and just very so slightly. A 200 gold difference between the teams is pretty astounding here at 23 minutes into the game. So it opens up. You have to go clear these minions, and it really has to start this conversation about when and how are we going to pull this fire giant. Are we going to look for a pick first? Are we going to wait it out a little bit? Like, what's the plan here? How do we want to do it? And I'm curious to see, do they just need the collie? Does Artemis even have to be there? Like I think even if you pick Artemis, you have to wait for Collie to be dead too if you're Marshall. These double
If
auto attackers are just going to burn down objectives.
one thing that really sticks out to me between these two compositions is, we'll get back to that. Nope, never mind. Ratatasker is just fine. Gonna go up into the air. But what I was gonna say is, one thing that really is the difference between these two compositions is, Marshall is never going to be allowed to pull an objective uh with more than two members, with more than three members up. If there's three members up on A&M Century, there's no way these guys are going to be pulling an OBJ. Reason for that, they have no hard secure. Izanami ult is a form of secure. It's just not a very strong one. Ratatasker ult, do you really want to use your semi-global ultimate to secure your fire giants, to secure your gold furies? No, you want to use that for the team fight. What they do have is a team killing comp. It just hasn't worked for them yet.
Oh, they're going to
Uh,
fire now.
and Jeff, good point. I've been proven wrong, but this is a great opportunity to use some of that macro play. Pointed out that there are 4 or 5 members over on the left side of the map. Solo lane being the red herring in this situation. So Hydra is bound to fall, and he will finally fall, but not without the price being paid. Gold or
Th-
Fire Giant goes the way of Marshall. Their first objective, by the way.
that play is brought to you by Hydra, who convinced the whole entire enemy team of A&M that it was important to kill Amaterasu and bring 5 people over for it because he was over there fighting with the Titan.
Mm-hmm.
And what's crazy is that Gaming Obelisk teleported to mid, saw them run that way, and was like, "Nah, I'm going left." And like the Wukong, I mean, you have that ult, you have that such security in it that I really think that you could at least positioned around, try to scare him off it, potentially go for a steal. And that just wasn't something that happened. I'm really am surprised that we don't see the Wukong follow around. I mean, you see him run to that right side jungle. Obviously, there probably wasn't a lot of ward coverage over there at that point, but
Mm-hmm.
I really am just very curious
Oh,
as to
Ultimate's
why
going to
that
come
happened.
out from
Oh
Ratatasker.
no.
Lands onto 4 people. Thanatos is going to land down on a target in the back. Ares ult pulls nobody, but gets a lot out of it. Thanatos is really low. Artemis being ran at by the Ares. He's all by himself, and he will find that kill all on his own. Didn't need any help. Sun Wukong in the back line of Marshall right now, trying to make his way out now as well. Gonna get stunned, gonna get hit with auto attacks by Wolves, who picks up that kill. 2 members dead for A&M Century, and that fire giant comes back in full for the entirety of Marshall as they go ahead and grab themselves a T2 and possibly a Phoenix.
I am mind boggled that that free bowling literally just gets to walk at the Artemis and goes, "Hey, Sentry, guess what? I can auto you and then just pull out fire and get a kill." That is wild. All
Yes.
5 members live through that fight, and they get the tier 2 in mid, and they get the Phoenix. Marshall proves why you don't want to let him go get a fire giant for free. But holy smokes, I love it, dude. I this
And
four like bruiser comp thing is like I'm about it. Sign me up.
it's a great thing, and I'm loving it just as much as you are. I haven't seen something like this in so long, especially with a bruiser mid lane as well. Very interesting indeed. And we weren't really talking about it much. Not a lot of action in that situation, anyways. But the mid Phoenix does fall, so that already this power play for Marshall has made up all of the difference that was the A&M Century winning off of macro play alone. So this triple bruiser comp playing to its strengths, and on top of that, just fantastic shot calling. If anything is really standing out to me right now about what makes Marshall appear better than A&M Century at the moment, it's definitely the shot calling right now. Somebody over there is a real field general, and it's it's become apparent to me.
Have you seen the right side of the map? Because it just got lit up like a jack-o'-lantern on Halloween. And like literally, A&M went over there and they all had wards and they dropped all of them. They were like, "We are not giving up a fire again this way." They lose the tier 2 and left. They have no towers remaining. They have 2 Phoenixes up. There's gonna be a fire giant fight, and I hope for their sakes they're able to fend it off because right now Marshall's looking good.
Like I said before this game started, that A&M Century have a really good counter engage. If they can get it to work this time around a little bit better than it did off that Pyromancer fight, I think A&M Century could just win a fight. Now, here's where the issue is going to be: is they already removed part of that engage. Aries ult's going to be down for about 60 seconds. Sun Wukong being chased down by 2, 3 members goes up into the air to get a little bit of that healing off. Karen ult's going to hit 3, and it's going to make things difficult as Thanatos lands down onto the Kali, but the ultimate is going to keep her alive. Stun comes through onto about 4 of them, and Nova finally picks up the kill onto Kali. Now Ares stuck between a rock and a hard place, but will find his way out from between that. And it's 1 member dead. Optic was the one that fell. I'm sorry. I actually thought I got it a little backwards. I thought Optic got a kill. I misread the situation there. So Optic is dead, and that means that A&M Sentry are the ones that now have to be careful. But everyone's backed off this fire giant, actually.
Yeah, I mean the health bars were low. Not only that, you have mid lane fire minions coming forward. You do have to give some respect to Marshall there, where there's a potential that they just decide to run it down mid while you're on the fire giant. As long as one person's over there with a global ultimate, oh, that's right, they have a few. They could go ahead and stall some fire giant things out and allow them to push mid. And now they're on the retreat. I mean, Charon's gonna have to ult here, and the dive in is even better.
That was a fantastic ultimate from Thanatos. Picks up the support, probably the most important piece of the puzzle. Sun Wukong also has to use his ult. So now all of the burst steal potential is gone from A&M Sentry. This gives Marshall another fantastic opening here for this Fire Giant play. The mid laner, Nova, going to be the one zoning off 3 members of A&M Sentry. Going to try to steal this one away. Good stun onto Ares, but he's able to pull 3. Kali has to use the jump and then uses the ultimate. High health, though. Kind of interesting time to do that, but there's so many low health bars. The damage has got to be onto somebody. Kali actually still hasn't been able to find a kill, and Nova will finally get his kill onto Kali, but not until Sentry Kiwi gets himself a double kill. And that's 3 members of Marshall down for the count.
I love the fact that we have the rat at the end of that. Nova just goes up in the air and just keeps vision on what's happening. He sees the Wukong go to mid lane. It's like, you know what? I want to make my ADC not get dived. I'm going to stand here, just make sure everything's cool. Sits up in the
Mhm.
tree, goes, cool, Wukong's leaving. I can back two. And I think that's a really, really cool play there by the mid laner, just trying to make sure that, Peel is there if it's needed. But overall, great fight back and forth there. This Fire Giant's still up. It's enhanced. We're 33 minutes into the game. And, I mean, I think whoever gets this fire is going to have some rundown potential because it sounds like, and it looks like, there's going to be some deaths along the way to getting it.
Oh yeah, these fire giant fights have been nothing but scrappy, and that I mean, not only does that make for an interesting game, but it really shows you the heart of these teams. I would say you know who wants it bad enough, and both of these teams want it really bad. And a little bit of a back check here, but I'm going to point out that earlier I think you said it was Marshall that was the number we said Marshall, they were the number 6
Yeah.
public vote, right? And I mean, in this game, I have not felt like they were a number 6 team. I felt like they were easily a number 1, number 2 team. Just how they played this draft.
Yeah, I mean, so far, there's nothing to make me believe that they shouldn't be number two, if not number one, with the way they're playing this game.
Mhm.
Both these teams are out here ready to scrap. And what I like right now is we just watched Hydra go push left lane. Is Hydra going to split push a Phoenix? No, he goes ahead and makes them teleport. And I think, does he have teleport up? Oh
He
my
might,
goodness,
and,
this
and
could be drastic for the
oh,
Amaterasu.
he doesn't have a teleport.
No, it doesn't have it. Doesn't have it. Sorry, my screen a little grainy. I see the frenzy.
No, no,
I
no.
thought for a second, but I was
It,
like, if there's a teleport, how big brain is that? Bait the teleport and then just teleport over so you're there. Oh
I
my
wish he had
goodness.
teleport. That would have been a really awesome thing to see. There is just teleporting in and starting a 5v4. But unfortunately,
Yo,
that's not
they're
what we're gonna get. Look at him. He's
look,
still pressuring these Phoenixes.
he's literally playing games with their heads, dude. Quit going after him. Just commit to the fire giant. It's a 4v5. Let him split push Phoenixes. There's no wave behind him. Oh
This is
my god.
Looks
This
like
is
there's going to be
wild.
something going on here. Optic's going to find a kill onto Dark Exodus, and he's going to turn his attention to the Ares, finds the kill onto him. They do finally take your advice and take that 4v5. Sentry Aces finds Wolves. That's 3 members of Marshall dead, looking for their 4th. Ratatasker going to try to go up into the air, and he will be able to get up into the air just in time. And that's 3 members of Marshall dead, and we looks like we cast a curse the marshals here, but Fire Giant either way is going to go A&M Sentry, and I don't see Marshall contesting this with 2 members.
No, there's no way they contest it. I don't think I cast or cursed them. I think I just pointed out what they obviously should have been doing in a 4v5
No,
situation.
no, I caster cursed them
Oh,
because
okay.
I said they look like a number 2, number 1 team,
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah, yeah, yeah. I got you.
that did not look like a number 2, number 1 team fight from them. That was very poorly managed on their part, and really it all just goes wrong straight off the rip. Dark Exodus just gets blown up by Karen ult combined with Collie Burst. That's a lot of damage to just be taking all at once. And what I find really interesting is that Hydra's still doing what he was doing earlier. Look where he's at right now.
Yeah, Hydra's, out here living their own lives. Okay, just split pushing, taking camps, just being an absolute menace to A&M. I mean, yeah, they get the
Menace
enhanced fire, but they've been chasing him around, trying to get a kill for a hot minute.
buying time. That's what this is. He's been buying time. Look, he's gonna go over to right lane. He's gonna get this Oni Fury or Oni Wave, and they're gonna go over there and stop him. Look, there's Baba Yaga already making the way over there. This Hydra is doing all on his own what usually takes an entire team. And if he ends up running out this fire giant just because he's a solo laner split pushing, I'm gonna be very surprised.
And I'm an Ama stan, okay? Like I will say it. Like I love playing Amaterasu. It's a fun time. But if I'm playing Ama in this situation, I try to do this, I 100% get killed.
Oh yeah,
there is no shot that the enemy team can get away with it. So it is funny to see. I mean, there has to be someone over on AM Century's side that says, hey, guys, I mean, we got to quit chasing Samateratsu. Yeah, it's annoying. Yeah, it's frustrating. Oh, no.
Ratatasker in a very bad situation, but makes his way out, goes up into the air, misses the ultimate, nice blink dodge. But now they're going to look over to the Sun Wukong. Bull stance is going to get him out of any situation really easily. Thanatos up into the air. Who's the target? Who's he looking for? Ratatasker's going to try and maybe come from behind. Never mind. No target selected. Now Ares is being chased down by the enemy support. And 4 members of A&M Century finally going to make their way under the tier 2 and start removing some of the tower objectives off the map using the enhanced fire giant.
But I like this 44 for Marshall here under the Phoenix. I mean, A&M doesn't have follow.
It's going to come out, and it's going to draw back a lot of Marshall's ability to defend. Talked about that earlier. Now, Sun Wukong trying to make his escape. Dark Exodus will get the last hit he was looking for. And now Ratatasker dives into the back. Ares blinks in, tries to find a pull, grabs onto Karen, and the chase begins. Now Kali has made her way into the back line, but no ultimate means no way out of that one. And Wolves finds another kill. Thanatos gets his ult back, makes his way up into the sky, lands down on his target, and it's so much CC. Century Aces has no chance to respond. Dead in seconds. Only 2 members now left alive for A&M Century. Karenol's going to come out, going to put a little bit of peel down, but maybe that will cost him his life. Dash, you're going to make sure he gets his way under the Phoenix at least. Stun and a death scythe, but nothing is probably going to stop him. But it's a mid lane Phoenix in response for Marshall and possibly even a right lane Phoenix.
I wouldn't be surprised if they run left here. I mean,
they
they're healthy enough. They have the HP 5 with the Ares. They don't have a reason they have to run. They're gonna leave it up for now. I think they back off. They look towards this Pyro that's respawning. They have Stygian Beacon coming up, but everything went right there for Marshall. I mean, you didn't have the Kali in the fight, and I like those odds every time. I don't care that Amataratsu's not there. I like the odds when you have still 3 tanks remaining in your speed defense. I think it's good. Yeah, the Phoenix fell, but what was the cost for A&M? It was 3 members and more.
And looking at the build, honestly, Ratatasker is more of a solo laner than Amaterasu is. Amaterasu has 2 defense items and some health. Ratatasker is all defense all the way with a Warrior's Axe. So he's got this yellow numbers build going for him. I haven't seen this build in a long time, by the way. That was like beginning of the year of this year 10 that this build was prevalent, and he's making it work. So I can't complain.
I mean, I like everything they have going on here. Now, A&M still holds the slight lead here. Not that gold is like a huge factor at this point, 40 minutes into the game, but they do have a slight gold lead. I'm still amazed with how close gold-wise this game is. I mean, 1,700 gold difference is pretty impressive at this point in the game. Builds have been finalized. You're buying 500 pots. Maybe you get a couple people with 3K pots. I mean, people are slamming it down now in these team fights. We have our next fire giant pulled up here, and it looks like Marshall's going to look for a pick. And look where Hydra is, coming through deep on the enemy side.
It's unfortunate, but you still find the beads, and that means that the next chance to engage on this Kali will look a little bit brighter for them. Ares looking to step forward and try and find some damage, just gets rooted instead. Kali comes from behind and starts putting the auto attacks onto 2 members of Marshall, and it's going to be Nova that goes down alongside his jungle. Now Ares having to dodge the Witchfire bolts. He will be able to make it out. Hydra will find a kill in the backline, though. Wolves does finally fall alongside the rest of his team, so 3 members of Marshall, are going to be down now. They might even try to find this Ares right here. Or, actually,
Hydra.
what they should do, they need to end.
Hydra's
They're just going to go
base. Hydra's in the base with
base.
fire minions. Hydra's in the base with I mean, is it, though? I don't know that it really is. I mean, unless the stall here for the Ares is incredible, I would be amazed.
It looks like it.
Oh
He's about
my
to kill
god.
Baba.
No way, Hydra's going crazy,
Unfortunately,
dude. No, Hydra's
Down
gonna
to
win it,
half
dude.
health.
Hydra's
Oh,
winning
the
the
two-man
race.
pull.
No way.
Hydra's died to Titan.
That's
So
fine.
now
There's
it's
fire
only
minions there. There's
Ares.
fire minions there.
Hydra, Baba Yaga did make a back, so she will be defending it. All up to Ares here to defend their own Titan. And
Fire
the Phoenix
minions are
will
still
also
up.
respawn. It's a close one.
There's fire minions still in that base. I
Titan,
think
it
Baba
looks like-
just killed them. Oh my god, dude.
It looks like Baba just barely was able to stop that. What a insane moment there. And shout out to Free Bowling, who not only manages to defend Titan, but finds himself a kill onto the ADC as well.
I wanna
Fire
know that
Giant's
Titan
still
health.
up, by the way.
I want to know that Titan health. That's what I want to know.
I'm curious myself. Hydra's almost had that.
Oh my god, dude, that was wild. I've seen some base races in my time. I've done some back doors of Titans by myself, but like not an Amaterasu just waltzing up to the base. You know what I mean?
That's crazy. This game has it all. If this is Division 3, I'm excited for Division 2 and Division 1. This is fantastic gameplay from these two teams. They're playing lights out. They've got interesting compositions. And I mean we've had base races, we've had siege defenses, we've had objective macro, we've had Ares pulls not pulling anything because bead, but such is the life of an Ares. But no, this has been a great showing for both of these teams, and I don't think anyone on either side of these teams should take public order into consideration if this is what Kickoff tournament looks like. Fire Giant down to a quarter. Kali's gonna come in, put a stun onto Ratatasker, who's gonna make his way out. Hydra, he's gonna be the first to fall this time. Not gonna be able to play Distractor in this next one. 4 members are going to make their escape. No, I was wrong. Nova actually finds a kill onto Optic, and that's gonna make 2 members of A&M Century turn around. Nova's still alive. He's the tank. Remember, he could just walk out of this. He will. He will just walk out of this.
Yeah, I'm impressed. Nova just gets to now
Walk
go
away.
get to walk away. Now be like Hydra, just chill up by the base of the enemy. Unfortunately, isn't gonna get to have the chance to try to go solo a Titan. It's a funny time out here. I never thought I'd see Rat mid today. When I was thinking about picks I could see on the analyst side, but this has proven good, and I think I'll talk to my mid laner about playing and see how he goes.
Not just Rat mid, it's Rat mid tank. So it's not even a damage based mid laner. It's just a guy with a bunch of defense. He's doing his own damage. This yellow numbers build from him is definitely outputting some DPS. It's just not the same DPS that you'd get from, say, the Baba Yaga over here, who should be doing quite a bit.
Yeah, I like the Baba build, and it has the prophetic in it, which feels pretty good. It's going to provide that tankiness. But again, I do think this was a nice little counter pick action that we got going on, and not an expected counter pick. Where it's not going to do that burst damage. It's going to be bruiser. It's going to get in your face. It's going to be that distraction in the team fight, which is always really frustrating to deal with, kind of like Yorm. But now you have it in the form of a Ratatasker, a little small guy. And that's always fun to watch, as the siege begins on the left side of the map here at the Phoenix.
Ultimate's going to come out from Ratatasker as he bounces his way over to the left side of the map, joins up with the team. Phoenix finally going to fall. Kali trying his best to just wear out this Ratatasker. Ultimate, I think, came out from the Artemis, and it didn't look like it hit anybody. That's going to be all 5 members of Marshall making their way out of this one. A Phoenix and run tactic that just works out perfectly for them.
Yeah, it wouldn't be Tusky if it didn't chase down enemies once a game. That's just kind of Tusky's job, is to sometimes jump out as a little scare tactic, but never actually chase anybody down. I think we've all been there. If you played Artemis, I know I have. So not surprised to see that feature implemented here. and at least one of the fights unfortunately happened on a Phoenix Siege, so we don't like to happen. It was either that or it got insta-deleted, which I've seen happen too, but I'm going to believe that Tusky decided to chill that time and decide not to chase down.
Absolutely. I mean, what more can you expect from the Tusky? It's a saint in its own right, I suppose. Looks like we're going to have another 5-stack over here on the right lane. Nope, Ratataster is going to make a back here.
Yeah,
So it looks like we're going to hold off on that.
I'm assuming they're buying some pots and some wards, if I had to guess, some things that they wanted to pick up just in case. We do see 3K pot come out there for Nova, wards for everybody. Yo, shoutouts to Ward Chalice, honestly. Underrated item. I love that item.
It's an item that definitely pays off itself.
Here's the deal. If there's someone at the end of this game that has less than 5 wards, shame on them. And they should buy Ward Chalice.
That should be like the punishment. Is like it's like every game. It's like whoever has the least amount of wards on the team. It's like a dunce cap back in the day. You just like you got to carry the ward chalice. That's all you.
Yeah.
Either way,
I'm about it.
5 members all on this right side jungle. Kali playing front line decides the positioning didn't feel favorable for her. Mid lane's pushed up. We've got at least 5 members, all 5 members from both teams. No, 4 for A&M Century here. Looks like it is going to finally turn into a 5-stack. Ward's getting placed. Talking about ward chalices, we just saw one come into play. Century Ward also come into play there. And it's all of Marshall backing up, going back to this Fire Giant. Testing the waters there. I really like that. Ooh. Might have a little bit of sneaky as Ratatasker goes up into the air. Looking like trying to find Kali as the target. Does land onto the Kali. Thanatos also up in the air. Lands onto the Kali as well and finds the kill. Aries going to try to pull something back but finds nothing. Dark Exodus has to make his escape here. And that's going to be the only kill that they find.
That's the only one they need.
But that's the only one they need, absolutely.
They can go to fire now. This is huge for Marshall. Not only that, they get to go up to they get the fire, and then they walk to a Phoenix and take it in a 4. I mean, they have to force the pressure here. They earned it. They played hide and go seek, and A&M found out. They sought and they lost, unfortunately, on that. So now they have to play the base defense game against Enhanced Fire Giant and Pyromancer, and you guessed it, Oni minions, because that is just the way of the road. At this point in the game. Actually, Marshall is going to neglect the Oni minions and go straight to mid lane. My bad.
I like that play a lot more, though. Trying to just go ahead and get these Phoenixes off the map while the Kali's still dead. And definitely the relic with the relic situation, trying to get some of these relics off as well if they can. Left side bird is about to come up, and it's only the Ratatasker. Look at how tanky this guy is. Just ate an Artemis boar to the face.
Yeah, but look what he did. 2 Phoenixes gone because of that dive.
Oh my goodness, I wasn't even looking at the minimap. You're right.
Yeah,
so
Nova goes, hey guys, check this out. He yells, "We are Marshall," really loud as he jumps in, and then the 2 birds on the end in mid and right fall.
What a fantastic play there. I'm not almost. I am impressed with what I just saw there. That was great use of macro and great use of abilities.
I mean, just great play there by Marshall. They've really decided to come into their own here. I would argue, early on, it was a little rough. A little back and forth, a little rough. Had to kind of figure out the pacing of how they were going to handle these team fights. But now that they've designated at least one member of the team as being the resident menace, as I will call it, it's worked out well for them. It started off as Hydra, now it's Nova. That Phoenix was there, and it disappeared. And it's going to be 5 members, running toward this Titan in the right lane because it's not in the base.
Nova is nuts. That's the only thing I can say to describe Nova. Is just nuts. Has the rest of his team moves over to the right side of the map, take care of that Titan and put it back in base where it belongs. And a pretty healthy Titan of their own to push into this base that has no Phoenixes. Dash onto the Sun Wukong for the silence, has to use the ultimate to get out of this one. not going to land back onto anybody. I'd be very surprised if he decided that that was a moment to get aggressive. And it's all 5 members back to defend, and it's a very good Karen ult to slow down the engage. A lot of low health aiming Obelisk will finally take a spill. Hydra finds a kill onto Optic, and the mental has been shattered as the rest of Marshall walk into the base. No Titan necessary. Heroic shield is huge, but not huge enough. Baba Yaga ult knocks back the entirety of Marshall, but it still doesn't stop the DPS. And it's going to be Marshall taking the W in this best of 1 Division 3 game.
I mean, what a game put on there by Marshall. They said, you rank us number 6, and we take down the number 1 in the AP poll, which is voted by the players and people. So, Marshall, like I said, came in with a chip on their shoulder and did work there. I am curious to see some of these damage numbers and some of these damage mitigated, as I was told that we need to look at Ratasker's damage mitigated.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my god, 105,000. That is wild.
Rat tank mid. That's the new meta, guys. Screw the Pele, forget the set. We're running rat mid from now on. This is gonna be my rank strat. Optic gets the dunce cap, only 4 wards. Anyways,
no,
great game to
someone
watch.
did it. Oh, I cursed somebody. No, no, why?
But either way, this strategy worked out fantastically for Marshall. And as you said, sometimes in these best of 1s, just throwing out a little curveball can make all the difference. But not to say anything about, I'm not saying against A&M Century. They had this game by the horns in the mid and early game.
Oh, for sure.
And then the composition started coming into its own for Marshall, and it just started becoming more and more difficult to deal with it. Lots of macro play also making big differences in these games. And if I'm going ahead from this kickoff tournament into Division 3, I'm looking at this Marshall's team, and I'm just waiting to see what other interesting things we can come up with, because this is great from them. And this shows that public vote was very wrong.
Yeah, I mean, this is just great play by them. Nothing to take away here against A&M. I think they played well, too. I think this was just a fantastic game. You just can't really prep for 4 bruisers in your best of 1. You just can't. Like, we talked about it early on. This is something that's really hard to deal with in best of 1s. It's like you don't have the meta. So not having the meta can be really, really hard to deal with against who you're playing. And Marshall came in with a plan in these best of 1s that worked out this time around. I mean, shout outs to Rat Mid, but also, I mean, fantastic play here by the whole entire squad on both teams. I think neither of them played egregiously bad. I think really and truly they did what their comps wanted to do. Marshall just came out with the dub.
And I think you said it best there, and I think that's a pretty good place to leave that one off. But we're not quite done just yet. Don't worry. We've still got 2 more best of 1s. Division 2 is going to be coming up next. Then right after that's going to be Division 1. But we'll get to that right after this break.
it, cannot hold, overflows, become one. Now work it, don't just stop. Let me see you pop at the barbershop. Work it, cannot hold, overflows, become one. Now work it, don't just stop. Let me see you pop at the barbershop. Getting ready for the show, little soldiers in a row. Watch them closely when they go. Falling in and out of low, little soldiers in a row. You can't hate them anymore. Now strike your boots and move your body close to me. Now feel the rhythm, no surrender to the beat. Now strike your boots and move your body close to me. Now feel the rhythm, no surrender to the beat. Work it. Barbershop. Barbershop. Better call the cops. At the barbershop. Now work it.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. We're here for our second game. We've got a Division Two game here. I'm still Freaky G, and I'm still joined here with Blaze. And Blaze, that last game has anything to go off of? This is going to be another banger.
Yeah, I mean D3 came out. They showed up, showed out, gave us a good finals, a long finals with how games have been going lately. Not just in casuals and comp, but in SPL too. We've seen some pretty quick games by most teams. But this time we have Colorado State and RIT voted number 7 and number 10 respectively
Wow.
in the AP poll. So some lower seeded teams by the vote here, making it to the finals and showing up, just kind of like last time with Marshall's, a little bit of a chip on their shoulder.
Yeah, and it's not just one team. One team voted low. It's two teams voted in the lower end. So that means that everybody decided to show up and make a big statement in these kickoff tournament games. And once again, it's like I said, best of ones. So maybe some more crazy stuff, or maybe we see these Division Two teams stick to the tried and true here. The bands kind of speak for themselves here. We've got two of the top ADCs right now taken off the table, Kernabog and Oleron. And then we've got the Sun Wukong, probably, in a lot of people's opinion, the number one solo laner right now. And then Athena, who's another top ranked support right now.
So I don't know if you watched the SPL kickoff tournament a couple weeks ago, but you want to know a crazy stat about Sung Wukong?
What's that?
He lost every game.
Really?
Or I think maybe he
Well-
won one. He went 1-9. My bad. 1-9 or
Oh.
something like that. I mean, crazy. Because he's picked so often, you figure that he is a dominant pick. And I do view him as he's one of those targets that's really frustrating to deal with. Has great single target CC, has a great slow, can jump up in a somersault cloud for an initiation and for that health regen. Definitely a good soul laner for sure. So, but I was surprised by seeing that from the Wukong specifically. And the round out of bans here is going to be Pele. We've seen that played in multiple roles of late. And then a Hercules ban, not something I've seen too often.
Well, and you're talking about SPL. I think it was just this weekend, watching it on Twitch. Hercules was played by Ducky, and they lost the set 3-1, I believe. But in that game, Hercules went undying almost. I think he died one time, but he was such a menace on that pick. So I can see the respect here, and maybe a respect ban not just to the character but to the player as well. We won't know until we get there. But after the bans go through, Raijin, top pick overall in this set, and that's not surprising at all. Not at all. That god has been on a tear since some of the changes and buffs that he's received as of late.
Yeah, Raijin's is good. I mean, there's just no way around it. I kept talking about for the past several months, we've seen him get a little bit of buff, a little bit of buff, a little bit of buff. And then they're like, oh, by the way, shift, buff.
Yep.
And then it's like, oh, God, he's OP. And that's usually what happens with Raijin is like, it's these little tiny changes, and then all of a sudden he's just really, really good. On the other side, we see Shiva, another guy we haven't seen a ton of, but I can tell you Shiva is quite good right now. We're going to see Artemis again, followed up by maybe a Geb. For RIT here, and I think Geb could kind of go hard. I do like what Colorado State has done by go ahead and picking up this Ganesha tier, specifically Ganesha. If there is a god that can be very frustrating to Raijin, it's Ganesha.
Mm-hmm. And that's great that they went ahead and picked that up for themselves as well. So Geb I find very interesting, especially so early in the draft. I feel like this pick could have probably went down the draft ladder a little bit, probably last pick overall. But you said something about the Shiva earlier, and this is highly opinionated for me, but I will say I think Shiva might be the biggest sleeper pick in solo lane right now.
I can agree with that. I mean, I honestly think Shiva does a lot. You have the heal, can also do really good damage, and overall is another one of those solo laners that I think does what a soul laner wants to do. Be a menace, be distracting, gets up in your face. And that's really the key here. We are heading into the second phase bans here. We're going to see Soul, Heimdallr, and Robin taken off the board. Not too surprised to see Soul go away, I can tell you that.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean these mage ADCs have just been so powerful. But what I am very interested to see right now, and probably one of the reasons why they're taking so long to make their final ban, but Freya has gone untouched so far. ADC's already been selected uh for them so far, but it also could be an Artemis mid, not the Freya, but this Hachiman lock-in does tell me that this is an Artemis mid.
What do you think about it being an Artemis jungle, though?
That would be even more interesting. We've seen Artemis carry and we've seen Artemis mid. Artemis jungle is doable. It's
It
not
is.
actually, you blink in and you tusky into the back line. That would be a very interesting way to play the pick. And considering what Division 3 gave us with the completely off the wall Ratatasker mid and just comp in general that they brought to the table, I wouldn't be as surprised now if this was an Artemis jungle.
So
We're looking over, we see this Bakasura and Rama, though. You were going to
I'll
say
say-
something, so go ahead.
I said I like the idea until Baka was hovered. I was like, then the idea went out the window. It doesn't seem like such a great idea anymore. But I mean, we don't know. I'm assuming as we both do. I'm assuming it's Artemis mid, Hachiman, ADC, or vice versa for those two picks. The Rama Camazotz hover are really good. I mean, Rama coming down, raining down those snipes as good as it's stealing objectives. You have the Camazotz that can really go up in the air, get that immunity and put out damage. Overall, I like the front to back comp here of Colorado State.
Yeah, it's very well put together, and it's sticking to the tried and true composition style that we're used to seeing. Everything is where it's supposed to be. I'm not expecting anything crazy. I don't think this is going to be a Raijin jungle or a Rama mid Raijin carry or anything like that. It's going to stick to its guns. I am very interested in this Poseidon hover because if this gets locked in, then we're going to have this triple DPS style, but rather than your normal jungle style like this Camazot's going to do, that's going to dive into the back line and just do kind of free damage, we've got the mage jungle potential here. But with the Geb pick here, I kind of like it because it's going to allow for a lot of setup. Shiva's going to be knocking up targets and pulling them into a vortex, which is just going to allow Geb to step forward and hit the Cataclysm onto multiple targets. And if they're allowed to do that with a Poseidon jungle, we're not sure yet. Could be something else, but they are hovering it. But if they're allowed to do that with a Poseidon jungle, it's going to create devastation. Beads are going to be a must for Colorado State.
Yeah, I'm looking at this, and I like RIT's comp. I mean, you have this Raijin, the Ganesha. You kind of play protect the Raijin, and then you have that Camazotz that can go up the air. There's a lot of chaos that can ensue
Ooh,
from that.
okay. What?
I have
What?
a lot of questions for the Colorado State team. Um,
Yeah. Got the names backwards, by the way. I meant to say RIT was going to need the beads, but back to what we're looking at right now. Is this going to be a Scylla jungle?
you know, it's not. I don't think. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. We're gonna have to find out when we get in the game. But to let you know, Division 3 kept us on our feet. Division 2 doing the same thing here, and really and truly, I'm excited. I'm scared about the amount of carries on the team, but I'm excited nonetheless.
Okay, no, okay. I went and looked at the rosters. This is a Artemis jungle from the looks.
Oh my goodness. Let
No?
me tell you, I don't know. They have a sub playing today, so I'm not sure where the sub's going because
Oh,
they can
yeah.
swap around some roster stuff there. We are gonna have to just wait and kind of see where it ends up. But if it's an Artemis jungle, shout outs to me cooking with an idea
You.
as I hope there's cooking in this game right now
Yeah.
when we load in. But this comp could be so scary, but could also get ran down too. So like I'm a little bit worried for Colorado State. RIT kind of has that full like normal-ish looking team comp, dare I say, more meta team comp. Where on the other side for Colorado State, you have 3 carries, and you better hope that the tanks can do the job.
The cool thing here that I'm seeing though, the double carry lineup, there's going to be a lot of pressure on these objectives from
Yep.
Colorado State. They are going to really make RIT work for it when it gets to that point. These Fire Giants and Gold Furies and Towers are just going to fall very quickly if they're allowed. But the counter to that is they also don't have a huge team fight, at least not mid game. Scylla jungle is what we're getting out of this, by the way.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm a little bit concerned for what this the early and mid game is going to look like because Scylla really wants to get ahead, really wants to farm. You can farm a lot in the jungle, but you're never going to get as much farm as you will just sitting in lane getting mid camps. So I'm really relying on Shadow Murloc to come up big with this pick because if he doesn't, I don't think this game goes well for anybody, at least on Colorado State.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing to watch for here is the fact of this Tusky ult could go real hard into an I'm the monster.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll have to see how that ends up going here. And RIT decides to do the triple pickup here of the buffs. Not something we see too terribly often anymore. And it's going to pan out for them. Not going to lose a lot of health on either side here. You know, Rama going to be able to walk to the lane. That's pretty nice. That's a dub.
That's always feels good, especially since Ganesh is gonna walk over here and actually steal the purple buff away as well. A lot of damage onto Geb. We might see a first blood within the first minute. Gonna get the knock up. Maybe enough to keep him from going down here. Just needs to connect. One more auto. Shell's gonna come out, and it's gonna kill all of the fun. RIT almost get a first blood, but almost just doesn't cut it.
Yeah, unfortunately, almost isn't good enough in this case, but they did get a shell out of it, and that feels pretty good. I mean, you get the relic out of there. There's no safe place anymore until this Geb gets a shield online, and I'm not even sure that's the safe place, as Geb and the Hotchman are still level 1 here. You have Fat and ODJ feeling it.
Yeah, that was a very scary situation for them, and I mean it's not over. He's still just tossing autos into that tower, but all this pressure that they've been able to get is going to open the door uh, pretty quickly for RIT, unless the Scylla in the jungle comes over. Shell's going to get popped, and that's the go button. Crush does get rid of the shell. The stun's going to land. Beads are going to come out. He may be able to get out amazing body blocks from the Ganesh, but you can't body block the Crush. Thomas Rock fights the dust, and it's first blood going to the Scylla jungle.
Yeah, I mean, and on the other side, get the Camazots going, but that really just took all the momentum out of the sails there. I mean, like you had pushing up, everything going your way. You have Ganesha, Rama just sitting there at the tower line, and then all hopes and dreams were crushed away. And sometimes that's the way it goes. Wilkins gets to live. Unfortunately, Thomas falls, and that brings it back a little bit more even between the two teams.
Still I think they're feeling pretty good about getting first blood onto the Scylla jungle, because I was talking about how the Scylla needs to really get something going in order to have an impact, and then we see the Scylla get this first blood that's really going to supercharge this mid and late game, as long as he's able to stay alive and consistently farm after the fact.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing to watch here is obviously this Camazotz is already level 5, so there is a little bit of a level deficit for the Scylla. But I think the pressure that you could bring with this I'm a Monster along with the Tusky is going to feel really good, as Artemis is falling low in the mid lane. Going to have to walk away back to the red buff after clearing the wave here, because it's dangerous territory. If this Raijin hits 5 and decides to get a little frisky, which is not going to be what happens, Raijin could have done some things there, and it would not have been a fun time for Draven. It would have just been sad boy hours.
One of the moments for Artemis that she really struggles that early game, just doesn't have the clear. Raijin gets that clear going pretty early, especially with his changes. Meanwhile, over in the solo lane, the Shiva that took a fall, but it hasn't let that deter him yet. He's still just gonna eat away at this totem.
Yeah, getting that totem control does feel pretty good. Get that little global gold and such. Nothing too bad here. But Tier could be in a little bit of trouble. This Bluestone start for the Shiva is actually working out a little bit, getting that poke damage off. I mean, obviously the Tier has it too. But you have a little bit more AoE damage, and there it is! The Brown Stain picks up the solo kill.
That very, very quick, very fast play from him. I was not expecting the damage. Meanwhile, over on the other side of the map, Thomas Rock getting his revenge onto the support for Colorado. So trades back and forth. A lot of individual opportunities being made here in this game. And that's good and bad. It's nice that Thomas Rock was able to kind of make up for lost ground. Raijin in the mid lane very low, but nobody around to really clean that one up, so he's going to be able to get his back off. But all these individual plays being made across the map, it's great for the individual player. If we can try and find a way to use that pressure somewhere to make a bigger play, that's when we're going to start seeing these teams start getting drastic leads. With Scylla making her way over to the left lane right now. Camazotz is hovering as well, so it's not too much for RIT right now.
Yeah, RT. I don't know that Colorado State knows that Camazotz is there. Puppet, playing with them a little
Purple
bit like a
invade.
puppet, pulling the strings. Some would say, and
Mhm.
now they pull this purple buff, looking for this invade, and I don't think they're gonna let that go
Oh,
for free.
wow.
The Darvin Pillars comes through,
Oh,
and they don't confirm it. The worst of the worst happens. That is not a fun time. I mean, you're expecting if you
revenge.
drop Darvin Pillars that you're securing your own buff.
Yes. No, that's tragic. That's all I can say. It's just that's just tragic. You drop the ult, which I mean, props to him. It's not very often you see a support just so willing to go ahead and drop the ult, especially for a camp. But in dire situations, it makes sense. But it's even worse whenever you do it and then you get nothing out of it, and it's a revenge if anything. Colorado State got their first purple buff invaded and stolen from them at the beginning of the game, and it almost turned into a kill. Shiva gonna have to dash out of here. Ultimate's gonna come out, not a stun, but he didn't need it. He just needed a slow so he could land the fearless assault. And that's a kill for the tier.
Yeah, and you
Oh,
need that
fire
return. There was,
shield.
let's say, little bit of a lead there for
Oh,
the Brown Stain. As now the Scylla comes in, looking for the I'm the Monster. Is it going to be able to land? Is the question. The Gem is rotated in, and it's going to be confirmed.
huge.
Fire shield falls. Shadow Murloc just looking to get off this extra damage, and now you have Puppet in a little bit of trouble. Has to ult away.
And he'd have been able to get a root crush after that ultimate hit on Puppet. That'd have been a double kill for the Scylla.
Oh,
That
for
was a
sure.
fantastic play from both of them. Support called that out too. He's just said, I got the ult, and you see Scylla already turning around to land that before the ultimate actually connects. That's great team play from Colorado State right there.
And Puppet had this lead over Shadow Murloc that has now been dissipated. They are pretty much even in XP now. Now, item-wise, there's a little bit of a lead, but it's a Chronos pendant here on the Scylla, and that's going to feel pretty good with those cooldowns. Just getting that going, making sure you have abilities as often as possible. You have a Bumba's already on your side. I'm not going to be surprised if late game that becomes a Bumba's hammer. I think that could go kind of hard. Is that what it's going to be? I'm not too sure if the fight breaks out.
Oh, Artemis pops Tusky, and Aegis has to get used. Raijin goes up into the Taiko drum, spears away the support. Scylla's going to make her way over with the root crush, and it's going to be okay. Falling for the first time this game, chases on, but not really going to commit to anything, except maybe a Gold Fury here. Actually, 4 members of Colorado State bearing down into the Gold Fury pit. So far,
Yes.
uncontested as well.
Yeah, I mean, if you're the Rama, you definitely, you have a chance to contest here, go up with the
Oh,
ultimate,
wow.
and that isn't going to be what happens. They're just going to let it fall. And
That's
I
damage with
realized,
just Chronos Pendant, by the way. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
oh
I
no,
had to
you're
point
fine.
that out.
I realized something as we're watching Shadow Murloc play this Scylla. And I'm not so sure that it's the Murloc Scylla skin, which makes me sad.
Really? You're gonna have to help me out with that one. Which one's the Murloc Scylla
There's like
skin?
there's like a sea monster Scylla skin.
Oh,
I feel like you have to pick that if you're the Shadow Murloc.
huh? Yeah, you make a pretty good point. Skin diff. That's
Yeah,
it is skin diff.
you gotta commit to the bit, you know.
Yeah.
Now a little 1v1 happening between the Ganesh and the Scylla. Just running through the jungle, and Ganesh is not favorable in that matchup. Just so we're
No.
all clear.
He definitely loses that matchup. Raijin's pretty far up in the lane right now. This could turn into some free damage. Quite a bit of free damage as well. Already knocked down to a quarter health, and that's just with Crush. Meanwhile, over in the left lane, it looks like Geb might be looking for an attempt here.
Oh,
He tries.
Oh my god, dude. Oh yeah.
And he
just
gets
right
the
down
kill.
spikes.
Wow.
Totally.
Fantastic response there from Thomas Rock. Not only does he realize the position he's in, Scylla, low health, might be able to get a chance on a return kill here. Gebolt's going to slow it down, though, and he's going to be able to run away from that one. Meanwhile, in the purple buff, Raijin duking it out with the Artemis, and he'll get the kill on Dreath. Not before Fat Balls picks up okay. Now Raijin in a little bit of trouble as well. If anyone is able to get there. But Scylla, he gets found. One's going to slow him off and cancel out the engagement. So a 1-for-1 trade mid for mid.
That was a scary fight for both teams, really, because you get the early Scylla damage from the I'm the monster. It looks like Scylla has a chance of falling, ends up dashing away and getting out. But on the back end in the purple buff fight, Husky was thrown out. It looked like Husky was about to go ham, and then Dreyeth got killed, unfortunately, because that Tusky was doing some work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a big
I
ult.
got to say, 3-0-1 on the Scylla, man.
Mhm.
Not what I expected for a start, and that has to feel good.
Oh yeah, especially now he's finished that second item right there. He's got the 30% pin. Gonna be able to get 10% more pin when he picks up his starter item, and even before that, when he gets the blue mask on the buff camp, he'll be able to get 10% more CDR. So already a 40%. Already gonna have a max CDR. Scylla running around with some flat pin, and obviously Crusher having its own pin attached to it. Ultimate's going to come out. Tusky's going to hit the support first. Raijin already making his distance. Stun is against as well as the crush. So timing just a little bit unfortunate. Now still unable to find a way in to do more damage. Rama does the roll in. Goes up into the air for the snipes. Lands one. Isn't able to land the rest of the damage though. And now Raijin goes into the taiko drums and peers in the Geb. Silence on the Geb, but not any more follow-up other than that. So he'll be able to walk away from the rest of that fight. No kills, but it does look like a beacon will be in their future for RIT.
Yeah, not only that, you have Oni Fury coming up soon. I think there's going to be another fight for that sooner rather than later. These teams have been going at the Gold Fury and other, any objective they can get as quickly as possible. And that fight ended up panning out well there for RIT. It was a little bit scary when the Dharmic Pillars was popped, and then you walk up to a Tusky, and Tusky starts running at your team. Fortunately, Shadow Murloc wasn't around to start throwing out crushes earlier, or that could have went sideways really quick. RIT shows up, puts out that damage between Wilkins, OK, and Puppet, and then Thomas just comes rolling in on the Rama. And never have I ever seen a Rama been allowed to go up in the air and come back down without a threat of the Scylla just taking their life.
Yeah, that was a messy engagement from Colorado Institute. A lot of damage going in a lot of different directions. There wasn't really a clear target, or there was, but it was okay. But okay was also just okay. He Aegis all of the damage that mattered. And now Ganesh is going to get to feel that root crush combo once again, as well as the ultimate. He's going to get double ulted, triple ulted, and he's going to go ahead and take a dirt nap right next to his tier 1 tower. A great play from Colorado Institute to remove the support. And now they're going to turn their attention over to the carry. Thomas Rock's been doing a pretty good job of staying alive. I'm not sure he's going to be able to this time. Meanwhile, another scrap right here in the mid lane. Taiko drums is not going to be enough damage. And the Aegis does get used just in case. But what a great play. And Rama will finally spill. Fat Ball is going to be the winner of the DPS race there for that kill. But what really matters is the prize after is a solo laner for Colorado Institute. Made the rotation, and it's going to be the second Gold Fury of the game, also going to Colorado Institute again.
Ganesh is running that way. They're going to look for the steal, but be a little too late. Can't confirm
Too slow. Yeah.
But I want to talk about, I've been a fan of a lot of different Artemis builds as of late. I haven't been a huge fan of the ability Artemis build. I have been a little bit saddened by it for the most part. What I like this game is the fact that I could do with or without the Bluestone. Okay, that's hit or miss. I love seeing Transcendence and then going like Fail Not. And then I'm just throwing it out there. A Malicious Deathbringer goes hard in this build because it's just free cooldown. Now, if it was me, I'm going for Death's Toll and going Death's Embrace and just resetting cooldowns like instantly. It is insane if you go cooldown attack speed crit Artemis. But I like where this build's going. I think this is going to go hard for Dreyeth as the game goes on. I think once we hit 20 minutes, this Artemis is going to be doing a lot more.
Yeah, I completely agree. I tend to prefer the ability-based build. That's just me, but I can see some reservations about it. The burst damage off of the 3 is just really nice, and you don't really need the attack speed on a character like Artemis because That attack speed stem is just so high. Another purple buff invade from the Shiva. Scylla's going to be here to make sure that this one goes down completely uncontested. I don't know how many times that invade has happened, but clearly it's made him very upset because Shiva's now stuck inside the Dharmic pillars. He's just going to walk out though. Gebel going to make sure that solo laner takes very little damage. Ultimate comes out for the heal. And this fight may not be over. Scylla throws out the root, but it looks like it didn't connect. Actually, it did, because OK is so low. He's almost dead. Dreyeth finally lands the damage required for that one. Kamazots goes up into the air now, trying to find the return kill. Scylla going to land the ultimate onto the Ganesh. Pulls in, but doesn't get the final hit. And Shadow Murloc is going to find a two-piece under the tier 1 tower. Rama's here, laying down some auto attacks. Goes up into the air after the root. Is he going to land down on a crush? No. Scylla goes down finally for the shutdown, but Dr. Brown or D Brownstein gets the last hit onto Rama, so he still will fall.
That's a tier 2
Mm-hmm.
at 16 minutes. You're feeling pretty good if you're Colorado State right now.
Yeah, no, shutdown aside, that was a really good fight for Colorado. They're going to get this Pyromancer off of it too, so just another objective to add to the the solo sheet of objectives that have been taken by Colorado this game.
Yeah, and this is one of those situations where if you're RIT, you kind of have to start thinking about who is the target that we need to kill in order to win our team fight.
But there's so many carries. Who do you actually go for?
And do you? Then that's the question. Like, okay, there's a lot of carries. Which one is causing us the most issues in the team fight?
Mm-hmm.
Arguably, in my opinion, it's Dreyeth and Shadow Murloc. You have to deal with a Tusky, or you have to deal with an I'm a Monster. And either which way that goes, it's not fun. But I think if you take one of them off the board early, your team fight gets a lot easier. So we see 5-6K gold lead at this point in favor of Colorado State. I think you start talking about prioritizing targets. Obviously, Colorado State has a team comp that shreds objectives. Mm-hmm. So they PvE really well, which is a frustrating comp to play against if you're RIT because you can't just go farm. They're going to out PvE you. So you have to fight them. But they've been out PvEing you, so you're at a gold deficit. So I think it's a frustrating comp to play against. I think we've all been there against those type of comps. So it's one of those things where you have to start talking as a team and saying, hey, guys, what do we think here? Or are we gonna let Thomas try to snipe objectives away? Or is our objective to try to take someone out in the back line and really commit to one or two people? Who are we looking at here? And I think it's a good conversation to be had. They're definitely not out of this game, but we're teetering on the idea of it being scary.
Yeah, and with such a massive deficit in the solo lane right now, it looks like a 2-level difference. Tier just struggling this entire game. But they may have found an opportunity here. Scylla did get caught out. The shield is going to be pretty big there, as well as the Aegis. And Raij's just so low. Auto attacks are going to come out. Dreyet's going to find his next kill. Ultimate's going to land onto 1, but not onto 2 from Shadow Murloc. Tier just can't survive, and Dreyet's going to land the auto attacks necessary to put him down. A 3-for-0 trade. You're talking about how good this comp was at PvE, but it's also just as good at PvP.
Yeah, I mean, when you use the PvE, get a little bit of a lead, and then you can PvP however you want. You have a Tusky, you have a Root with the Scylla, you have the Geb, Cataclysm, you have Shiva that can pull targets back in. The CC is insane. And you're really setting up who? You're setting up Shadow Murloc. I mean, obviously, everybody else is going to get some kills too, but you're setting up the giant AoEs being put out by the Scylla, and they can't escape it.
Yeah.
And this is a Fire Giant pre-20 minutes.
Oh, no. I don't think you're going to be surviving this one. Wilkins may have just gotten caught out being way too far up. But it looks like all of Colorado State decide they don't really care about the Ganesh because there's a Primal Fury to be had. And I don't blame them. I think Primal Fury is probably worth a lot more gold than Wilkins is right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to be surprised if they decide to push up for more at this point. Really, they should probably... Oh my god, there's the steal we've been wanting from Thomas. Snipes it down.
That was great.
The Rama to at least take one objective in RIT's favor.
And that's the kind of play you need to make in these situations. And you hate for your game to come down to hero plays, right? You don't want to get in that situation where you got to make these big hero plays. You got to steal these OBJs. You got to find the 1v1. Those situations are never ones you want to be in because they're just not comfortable. But when you have a player like Thomas Rock who's been doing it almost all game anyways, it feels pretty good. You don't really feel that pressure anymore of just, okay, we've been having a hard time, but we finally got some comeback here. And it's, instead of it being a 10K goal deficit, it's a 7K. And then I think they're happy about that at least.
Yeah, I mean, and Thomas is the only one that's not behind. Let's be
Mhm.
clear. Thomas is the one that has a lead on the side of RIT, which as an ADC feels good. It allows you to know, like, hey, I'm about to hit 20 soon. I'm at 18. If we can facilitate me getting to 20, I'm gonna make these team fights a lot easier for us. Now, you're
Mm.
facing off against 3 carries, so that's gonna be a little difficult. But having that damage is gonna feel good here. Um, a little surprised that we didn't see a Silver Branch just for the extra power over the XE, but I'm assuming we're going in probably Infinite Deathbringer at the end of this. We make it that far as Wilkins.
Oh, wow. He's not in trouble. He's just dead. Shadow Murloc gets the kill with the ultimate, misses the second ultimate, but he's not worried about it. Rama gets caught out all alone in the left jungle, and he'll be the second to fall. This tier 2 likely going to go down next unless somebody steps up just a little too far. Shiva's going to pop the ult, heal up his team a little bit, and get ready for this final push onto the Phoenix in this right-hand lane. 22 minutes in, and it's already going down. This isn't even an EFG. Bomb was dropped late, but they're not really too worried about it because they're going to slide right on over, pick up this mid-Phoenix. Gemazot's throwing out some damage, but he's going to get some thrown back. Tyr's going to throw Geb up into the air, but they're not worried about him. They're worried about the Phoenix. They're going to pick up the second Phoenix of the game, maybe even another kill. Tyr survives that one pretty easily. One last tower remaining. 2 Phoenix is already down. And I hate to say it, but in this best of 1, this game could already be a wrap.
Yeah, this is looking a little rough here. You're going to see 2 Phoenixes gone, the tier 2 gone. And this is being facilitated by this Scylla jungle, which, I mean, you had no idea predicting. They last picked it. They made sure it couldn't be countered anyway. They didn't give any idea or semblance that's what they were up to. I mean, I joked around about Artemis jungle, but really and truly, this pick for Shadow Murloc is just kind of insane. 10-1 and 6. I mean, I don't think any of us would have predicted it was going to go this well. I think, you see the comp with the setup with Cataclysm and Tusky and that, and you're like, okay, well, we're setting up a lot of good kill pressure and a lot of good chances to get this I'm a Monster reset. But the fact that it went this well is just great shot calling and great play by Colorado State.
Yeah, and I'm glad that they went for that huge play on the Phoenix there, because with just how much of a gold lead that Colorado State has and how much of a level lead they have as well, to take your foot off the gas for a second there would have just cost you a lot of potential going into this 23, 24 minute point. Next Fire Giant's going to be coming up, and I wouldn't be surprised if when these Titans start shoving lane, that they just slide right over to the Fire Giant and grab it, and then go kill the Titan after, because that's the best decision they could make. If RIT doesn't do anything to stop the Titan push before the Fire Giant, it's going to cause them a lot more problems. You're in endgame territory right now, and you can't make mistakes. RIT tries to make the steal, but Thomas Rock, unfortunately, doesn't get the hit that he needed. Colorado State also not going to be going to that Fire Giant. Instead, they've opted to just go ahead and take care of this Titan. And I wonder if maybe they just go ahead and try and get this Phoenix as well. If they do it, it'll be the riskiest play they make in this entire set. And it looks like that's not what they're going to do.
No, they're playing very patient. They have no reason to push up there. They're going to go get this Fire Giant at 25 minutes, and then they're going to run it down the lane of their choosing. And to kind of further push home what's going on, I mean, Wilkins has this prophetic cloak at second item. It only has 12 stacks on it. I mean, it really just has not allowed them to come to the fight. And RIT are going to be late getting the Fire Giant. Really and truly, I don't even think they bothered to set up. I think they really just need to clear waves, get the farm that they can, get rid of this Titan in left lane. Colorado State's going to get the Fire Giant for free. They're going to get a Pyro for free, and you better hope that Titan's killed before they come down mid lane. I mean, I think that's kind of where we're at.
I'm surprised that they're not stacked up on it trying to take it down right now. They need to be pressuring that. Luckily for them, more patience coming out from Colorado State. Decide they don't need to push that left lane right now. They're going to go ahead and push the waves up in mid. These Phoenixes are likely going to come up as soon as Colorado State walks up to the base, but they're probably got their eye on the real prize, and that's the left side Phoenix, the only Phoenix that hasn't gone down for RIT. We're looking at 5 members on the left side of the map. If they go anywhere else, I'm going to be very, very surprised. That's the only word I can use there. I was looking in my thesaurus within my mind. I couldn't find anything. I'm sorry, guys. Surprise is all I had. But I'll be surprised either way. It'd be the best play they could make.
Yeah, I think they could have sent one person to kind of split push and just show face. Really, there's no reason to do that, though. You just group as 5, run it down. That's what this comp is designed to do. They've been executing it very well. And right now, Thomas isn't back at the base. It is strictly Wilkins defending this Phoenix, and it's going to be bye-bye. Darwin Killers is huge. That's huge. They have no way to, like... No, they didn't. And what's crazy is now they don't have to worry about Darwin Killers. This sets them up even further to, not have to worry about a zone ult.
Yeah, this is a fantastic position from them. They got the mid Phoenix. Oh, he grabbed onto him pretty quickly. Ultimate's going to come out from the Geb 2 to lock him down. Artemis ult stuns the Rama, but not the Raijin, who did use ultimate there, but just not enough damage. There's still so many healthy people. Dreath finally takes his first death of the game. And now Brownstain's going to pick up Thomas Rock. 2 members dead for RIT. Tyr and Ganesh likely to follow. He takes so much damage, but does make it to the Phoenix. But they don't care about that. They care about the Titan. It's down to 50%, and no one from RIT can get in there and defend it. Tyr ult comes out, beads, and Geb's shield is perfect, and Shadow Murloc gets his last kill before taking the Titan. They finally dealt with the problem. They got Dreath down, but they couldn't get the rest of them. RIT just can't make it happen. Colorado State come out on top.
Yeah, I mean, just well-executed oiled machine there by Colorado State. I mean, hook, line, and sinker with that comp. You can't ask for a better setup than that by your team. They did everything they wanted to do. They knew they wanted a W key. They knew they wanted 3 carries, that they were going to hide one with last pick. It's just everything they wanted.
And looking at the scoreline, I mean, aside from Brownstein dying, well, no, Brownstein and Dreath, they're the feeders today. Two whole deaths. That's insane. These guys.
Geb carry shoutouts 2-1 and 15.
Yeah, absolutely phenomenal gameplay. True hard carry here though is Shadow Murloc, 11-1 and 7 scoreline, and that's what you want from a mage. But for him to do that out of the jungle, I think is even more impressive. Normally you see the mid lane Scylla, and it takes a little bit longer to get online. But Shadow Murloc from minute 3 made a rotation, got a kill, got first blood, and then just started making it happen. He was everywhere on the map. He made rotations to solo. He got ganks in mid. He came over and put pressure and got purple buff steals on left hand on a carry side. Phenomenal gameplay from him. And Colorado have proven a lot of people wrong. I'm pretty sure these guys were voted number 10 or number 7.
Number 7
number
in
7.
The AP polls eyes.
Yeah, very low.
You know what else goes with 7? 17 wards by Shadow Murloc in a 27-minute game. That's kind of crazy out of the jungle, considering last game went 50 minutes or so, and we saw 4.
Yeah. Still only seeing 4 wards here, and one of those being a support as well, so that's a feels bad. But you can't really put all that on Wilkins. I think Wilkins struggled to stay alive a lot, got to a point where he couldn't even stack his prophetic cloak anymore, and it's just such a tough situation. After this kickoff tournament, anybody who had their doubts about Colorado shouldn't have any anymore. They played this game phenomenally. Clinical is what I described it as. You called it a well-oiled machine, and I think we just kind of hit all the nails on the head with the descriptors here. But that's enough about these guys, because we've still got one more best of 1 to go, and it's going to be some Division 1 games. So stick around with us for a little bit after this break, and we'll bring you some of that action.
All I saturated on empty pavement. Sitting in your car in the lot, going over things we forgot. With your hoodie left with me, as I'm playing with the scene. Buzzing like a joke on my tongue, biting on my lip till you're done. And it's slowly killing me, this is all I need. Look out the lights of cool your eyes. I miss you burning through my mind. Dark room all night, blonde amber high. I hate it, just to leave us undefined. Traffic lights, a blush on my face. Slowly, watch the tears on your dashboard fade. Lost in this state of mind. How long should we drive? Sitting in your car in the lot, going over things we forgot. With your hoodie left with me, as I'm playing with the scene. Buzzing like a truck on my tongue, biting on my lip till you're done. And it's slowly killing me, this is all I need. Look out the lights of cool your eyes. I miss you burning through my mind. Dark room all night, blonde amber high. I hate it, just to leave us undefined.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back for the final time this evening as we've got ourselves one more best of one, and it's the Division 1 finals for the kickoff tournament. I'm still Freaky G, and I'm still joined with Blaze McBain. And Blaze, Division 1, man, these guys, this is the real deal.
Yeah, they're going to cook, I believe.
I hope
No,
so.
I'm excited. We have Kentucky, who was voted the number 2 team in the AP poll. They're also known as the Giant Slayers. I mean, they've literally come through the past few seasons and taken out the top-ranked teams. Unfortunately for them, they're against UCSB, who is voted number 4 in the AP poll, but they just got done taking down number 1 A&M Maroon in the kickoff tournament before this. So, I mean, a lot at stake here. Can the Giant Slayers be slain by another Giant Slayer? That's the question here as we head into this Division 1 finals.
And instead of your typical David and Goliath story, we've got the Giant versus the Giant. So this will be a very interesting match to watch. I imagine you were about to talk about what these bands are looking like so far. So I'll take that up for a second as we see the Karen, Kernabog, Raijin, and Sun Wukong. Very common and average bands so far.
Yeah, I mean, these are the bands or picks we've seen the past couple games. We've seen what they can do. We know now. But this leads us to these best of 1 sets where we have to ask ourselves, who are we going to get 2 crazy teams this time around? Is one going to be more standard? Is one going to be a little bit more wild? We'll have to see and find out. So far, these bands are relatively standard, though. I mean, Karon, we've seen what he can do. We've seen what Raijin can do. We have not seen Athena today, or Freya. Actually, or Turnabog. So 3 of the 6 bands we have seen here, we have not seen yet. But Oleron comes through, and let's talk about Oleron, man. Best team fight ultimate in the game, hands down. This zones off an area and says you will move slow here, and all of your things will go slow, while I go burr. So
the best description I've ever been given. Sorry to cut you off, but the best description I've ever been given of Oleron. The god itself, dog water. The ultimate, best ultimate. That's the description for the god that I've been given, and I hold that to be very true. The god itself, the base kit, not the strongest, but that ultimate just makes up for every bit of strength he is lacking in that base kit.
look, I got a rank Conquest Pinta with Oleron, so I'm just saying maybe he's not like dog water. But he's
Did you ult?
He does his thing.
Did you ult for
No,
that Pinta?
I ulted at the beginning, but I did not end it with the Pinta. I chased down, I believe, a Camazotz for that Pinta. Or no, it was a Nox. I chased down a Nox for that Pinta.
Wow.
But a little bit surprising here. We see Pele Camazotz locked in here. And as most people know, the biggest counter to Oleron is CC immune ults. And one of the best gods to do it's Fenrir. And he is being overlooked here. And that's a little surprising to me. He can, grab Oleron, take him out of the ult. And now we see over on the Kentucky side, they're going to lock Ganesh, who we've seen quite a bit of today, and Bastet.
I mean, that's interesting and all, but I got to point this out. That's a triple assassin lineup already. There's a lot of flex potential right now going on over here. And, I mean, you've got Pele, one of the highest tiered assassins in the game right now. Camazotz, another top tier assassin, and Thor, another top tier assassin. And you have no idea where any of these 3 guys are going. You can't figure this one out off the rip. So now you got to look at what's going on over there and say, what do we get rid of here? How do we take care of this? And I'm just as interested as you are to see the answer. Right now, we've just got an Ares ban. And, I mean, that's a good answer. Lack of CC immunity on 2 of the 3 picks made already. But Ares definitely would be a problem into that. So I'm liking the decision made by them to get rid of that off the rip.
It's going to be Ares on her band away. On the other side, it's going to be Hades and Morgan Le Fay. I like the Hades Morgan Le Fay band. I'm really indifferent about the Ares on her bands. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like Ares is going to get free dove by 3 assassins, so let him go up into no escape.
Sure.
On her can do some damage, so I understand a little bit more. But now it really leaves me with this curiosity for UCSB. What do they want to draft here for I'm assuming they're Guardian and Hunter, because I'm assuming, looking at this, it makes sense for it to be Thor or Camazotz solo the most. Probably Thor solo, Camazot's jungle, Pele mid, if I had to guess. That's kind of where I'm feeling it. But
Hmm.
those could be stirred up however you want it at the end of the day. And we're going to have to see how this first pick out of the Phase 2 bans go. But I have to imagine they're going to lock in their support here and
Now
leave
keep
the ADC for last.
now keep in mind in the SPL, we have seen a Pele carry. So who's to
Yep.
say that this isn't a Pele carry, Camazot's mid or jungle? Anything could happen. That
I subscribe to that newsletter if
and
it's
and
Pele
and
carry.
and it possibly still is, but we have locked in a potential mid. Considering what we've seen in the last two games, I'm not going to say anything is definite so far, but that is a Thoth lock in. So that screams mid lane to me. If he goes anywhere other than mid, I might just have a conniption fit going into the game. But we are still waiting to see. What that does do is confirm that it's some magical damage nonetheless, so I'm not arguing against the selection, just arguing about its position. Baba Yaga and Achilles is going to be the final lock-in, and, well, not yet, because Achilles hasn't been locked in, and to be honest, I don't really feel this Achilles pick. I don't know about you. I think the triple assassin lineup, and it gets locked in, but with this triple assassin lineup, not really feeling this Achilles pick.
I think Kentucky's team comp is scary. I like I look at this and I'm like, oh, they have a Toth. Man, you know what Toth does really well? Gets dove really well. Yeah, he has a really long dash, but that's a Bastet.
Yeah.
If they commit to the dive and then it's an Oleron ult into them, I mean, Baba and Achilles could go absolutely hard in that team comp. You have the Ganesha just for extras, zone lockdown. This Kentucky team is really, really scary. Where on the other side, this UCS SB team really has to play mechanically well the whole entire game. They gave themselves no wiggle room here.
Yeah.
They have to be absolutely on top of this for the whole entire game. And I think you're right. I think maybe it is going to be a Pele carry here as we load into this game. But Kuzma was the last lock-in. I do like that for the disruption. It's going to help with that dive, and you could really use that ultimate to kind of spread things out, be annoying, which is things we like to see.
Well, and the decision for the Kuzumbo really speaks to me here because a lot of times in the traditional compositions, Kuzumbo doesn't really work as a support because his ultimate just throws people around in so many different directions, and you have some control over it, but you don't have a lot. So what can happen is you end up making your carries miss their abilities. Well, that's not so much of a problem when most of your carries need to get up close and personal to do their damage anyways. So I kind of like the dynamic that they've gone for. This Kuzumbo also just going to do a bunch of damage on his own as well. He's one of those supports that just pumps out damage without really having to try. He punishes you for playing the game correctly. That's one of the strengths of Kuzumbo. So I'm hoping that it gets used to the best of its ability, and I'm sure SBC will be able to do that nonetheless. He has the ability to play this very well. Uh, this is Division 1. I would imagine that you don't get to be a Division 1 college team without knowing what you're doing.
Okay, it's Pele mid. It's
Huh.
Camazot's jungle. Thor solo.
Okay.
I think it's Toth ADC.
Okay.
And I'm a Toth ADC player, and I'm about this.
This is
He does a
interesting.
lot of damage real quick. He plays well into Oleron. Obviously, Oleron's the better, like, just standard ADC pickup. But who better to insta delete somebody than Toth?
And you make a really good point there. And I also like the fact that they're putting this Kuzin, they're putting this Thoth in the long lane because that gives him a little bit more room to maneuver, gives him the ability to sniff out ganks. He's not in the mid lane where an attack can come from any angle. If he's a little too far up, he has the ability to kind of get out of situations a little better. So I kind of like the idea here. I'm not completely sold on it. I'm still a Thoth mid believer and maybe a Thoth mid enjoyer. Whatever you want to call it. Either way, I think it's a good idea. I'm just not 100% sold on it.
I think this idea could cook. I think it also, does a good job of keeping the assassins to have to. If you want to kill Toth, you're going to commit to going duo. Like Bastet's going to have to go to duo lane. So I think it's a good strategic play here to have the Toth go over to duo. Obviously, there's some things that could go wrong with that, such as if
Oh wow.
if the Ganesh dash hits, that could be tragic. But I just thought about, I played Ganesh the other day, and I went to dash somebody, and I did that same exact thing, and I was sad afterwards. I was like, man, if I hit that, that's a kill, and then it just didn't happen. But,
It's almost as tragic as missing the Merc dash. You just kind of miss it, and you're just in Nowheresville going, oh, hi. Don't
it's
look
me.
at me.
Hi. I'm the problem. Oh wait, that's not not where we're at right now. But yeah, that's sometimes how it feels. Action over in the solo lane again though, between the Thor and the Achilles here.
And this Thor is going to struggle a little bit too. He recently, well not recently, but a couple patches ago, he caught a nerf, and it was pretty significant to him actually. It really reduced his clear. He just doesn't hit the same. And it's showing its true colors right now. I mean, look how low he is. He's having to sit back and just poke the wave. And yeah, until he hits about level 8, level 9, being the solo laner, I've done this matchup a few times. He's not going to enjoy this.
Well, he's out of pots.
He's what?
Out of pots. He doesn't have any more pots. So I mean, this could get really scary really fast.
He's definitely not going to enjoy this. Thor also just doesn't like this matchup either. Achilles into Thor. Your Berserker's Barrage is going to constantly get cancelled out. However, the Pele does not care about that at all. He's going to start putting some damage onto target. Achilles is really low, lands the stun and lands the 3, but he's probably not going to get much more. Upcoming is going to find his way into the grayscale with Achilles, though. Pele may not be much long after that, but does find a way out. Uses the last bit of her mana to get the knockup off, so he will survive this time around. Great play from the mid and the jungle there. Or no, that was the jungle. I'm sorry. Pele's the jungle. Great play from both jungles there. But the real prize here is the blue that's being stolen away currently by BMS Froggy.
Yeah, I mean, I really like that play by BMS. Also makes the rotation over to pick up and steal the blue away. I mean, that's going to go a long ways here. Obviously, Thor is going to try to play for this blue as a steal on that right side. I don't think it's going to happen. You might end up losing their own life, gets away. But for how long is the question? Now that the Baba Yaga's rotated in, the answer is probably not very long.
It's not going to take much more to take him
No
down.
way. No
Auto
shot.
attacks are not enough. He finally gets the hammer toss off and goes all the way back to the tier 1. Pele now in a bit of trouble. Just going to take some damage from those Witchfire bolts. And it's going to be net 0.
Yeah, I am absolutely amazed that Anxiety Overlord got to live there. Now, I mean, he caused them some anxiety. That might be part of the tactic here. About not being able to get that kill, because I know if I see anxiety. A Thor running around with 5 HP, I'm gonna be pretty upset that he's able to get out of there with a hammer. But that's fine. TKOs at this early in the game work just as well as kills. It's basically the same. So you can go back and get that farm going. And what I find interesting here is how active both of the junglers, for Kentucky and UCSB have been in the solo lane this far.
Yeah, solo lane especially. We're not used to seeing the solo lane be such a prominent area of contention for jungles. It's usually in the duo lane. But, I mean, when you look at the duo lane right now as a jungle, it's not so enticing, I suppose. You've got Thoth, kind of hard to lock down. If he gets the dash off, he's just kind of gone. And then you got Oleron. You jump on him, he's probably just going to ult, and if he doesn't have ult, then he'll likely just sit in tower.
Yeah, I mean, the problem with ganking the Thoth is you need 2 things to happen. You need his dash to be down and his beads to be down. Because if you're this Bastet, if you hit the ultimate, you're pulling him back to wherever you want and taking him out. So if the dash is down, the beads are down, it's basically free kills. But the problem is Toth's going to step up and let that happen. Honestly, what I would be looking for if I'm VMS Froggy is I'm looking over that purple wall. I'm contesting purple, and if the beads are down, I want to pull him over into his own purple buff area, and that's where I get the kill.
Wow. Thor is just taking so much damage right now. Not even going to be able to contest his own purple. 3 members of Kentucky are coming over here. Kuzenbo's here alongside Kamazot, which is likely already dead. He is already dead. And now, Kamazot is in a way more trouble than he liked to be. Gonna go up into the air. Gonna survive for a little bit longer, but the Witchfire Bolt may be enough to take him down. Lil King, DJ, gonna pick up that kill. Achilles, though, he's now in trouble himself. Thor gets the stun, but so much of that passive DR stacked up, he doesn't even stay stunned for long. Pele's gonna run right into him. Start putting down the auto attacks. Dharmic Pillars stops the engage. Knockup's good. Achilles' ult comes through, but he's not in execute range at all, so he lives that. But Achilles also gets to walk away from this one. Baba Yaga still chasing, but the hammer toss keeps Thor alive once again. Man, and Anxiety Overload, excuse me, he has spent so much time at low health or just not in this lane.
Yeah,
Why
I
is
mean,
Mid still here? What is
here's
going
the
on?
crazy part. Who knows? Achilles is over in the mid lane, fighting it out.
Huh.
But
Hey, go ahead. Anyways.
I was gonna say the fuel heal for the Petle there for upcoming was so clutch because the execute came up, and as soon as Achilles went up the execute, the heal popped up. So it worked out really, really well there. And overall, just really good play from both teams to kind of counteract each other and make sure not too much had fallen. But there has just been a lot of focus on this solo lane thus far. And I think at some point you have to start going, okay, maybe they're going to keep thinking we're going to come over here and we make a play elsewhere. I mean, I think mid has some decent things to look at. You have this Toth really pushed up in duo. And I think Oleron making some interesting pathing now. And we're seeing upcoming and Anxiety make the rotation. Not sure what the purpose of Oleron
he has
pathing
no
that way
idea.
was, but there's the beads, and that's a scary time.
Yeah, no beads now, and only the ultimate's going to be there to save him, so he's going to have to really pay attention to what's going to be going on for the next 160 seconds. And you brought it into existence. I mean, they finally made a play over there. Anxiety Overlord actually got a solo kill over there, so that's really going to help him out throughout the rest of this game, or at least through this laning phase. But you spoke it into existence, man, and I can't blame UCSB for making that play. They finally just decided that this reveal arc is just not allowed to free farm anymore, and that's a great decision.
I mean, shutting down the Oleron early is going to go a long way for you. It's going to make him much more useless in the team fights if you can make that happen. Will it happen? I'm not so sure. But so far, we do have a Runeforge hammer here on the Thor, which I'm kind of surprised to see this early. I think the item's really good on Thor, but now we have a gank coming through here for upcoming.
Oleron ult is going to get used, but Kuzenbo ult just locks him down in place. Doesn't matter how slow the abilities are, if you can't get away from them, you're not getting out alive. And that was a great use of the Kuzenbo ult. Pele stands right next to him, keeps him locked down in the same spot, and that's what I was talking about. Usually that ability just kind of tosses people around, makes it very difficult to lock a target down, but upcoming positions himself perfectly against the wall, and Kuzenbo, his support, locks him in place, puts him right down where he needs him.
I'm really confused why upcoming just didn't stay for the purple buff invade there and make it quicker for pump Keo to be able to finish that off and then go do shield buff. But
maybe just
curious.
a little bit worried about a return gank, a potential regank, counter gank. That's the word I was looking for. Potential counter gank, but I mean it never came. And I agree with you. That should have just been could have been a little bit more efficient, but maybe efficiency wasn't on the mind there.
And I really expected maybe like a positioning around gold even. Like it's really curious. They have some good ward coverage over there. I think they could have rotated mid, maybe try to get a pick there. Playing a little cautious, which again, I'm not a huge arguer against. I think trying to play a little bit more cautious and not getting too ahead of yourself is in general pretty good. You can definitely play too confident in these best of ones that can be drastically harmful. But also playing a little too confident can go a long way in best of ones, because if you can get in your enemy team's head early, it's going to go a long way.
You were talking earlier about the Rune Forge pickup for Thor this early, and to be honest, I think it's perfect by the looks of it. It gives him some of that power, helps with that clear, puts some health on the Thor as well, makes him a little bit tanky. And I mean, he's planning on rotating. I mean, look at his positioning right now on the map.
Oh yeah.
He's already going through mid lane. This is a Gold Fury call if I ever saw one. Beads are back for Oleron. Ultimate's back as well. So very risky gold, trying to sneak it. Bastet knows what's going on. Ganesh stepping up. Thor goes up into the air. Dharmic Pillars is going to pack everyone off. Pele down to half health. Misses the target with the Thor roll. Oleron going to find a kill onto Anxiety Overload. And now Kamazotz has no ult, has to make his way out. Pele walks right into the Achilles. Ultimate has to come out to gain some distance. Kamazotz has nowhere to go, uses the jump to get past the Baba Yaga. Baba Yaga is going to use the home sweet home with the help of Bastet, start putting damage on Kamazotz. He may not be able to get out of this one. Stun helps lock him down. Little King DJ finds his second kill in this game.
And they're gonna find more.
Kuzumbo. Yeah, they're going to find more for sure. Kuzumbo gets done. The silence catches the dash. And Tyler Childers will pick up his second kill of the game. No, first kill, excuse me. And that's definitely going to be a Gold Fury call, but Oleron is low. And look, there's 3 members of UCSB here. The hammer toss picks up little King DJ. Bastet has to jump out. Oleron, he was getting out of dodge before it even all started. No support for UCSB means no Gold Fury for you. And Achilles is next upcoming. Grabs his 3rd kill of the game, a 3-0 Pele for the mid game.
Yeah, and now they're just going to go right back over this Gold Fury they wanted to pull earlier. And there's no Dharmic Pillars as of yet. I mean, they're coming off cooldown. It's up. He's going to go for the steal here. And I'm not going to be surprised if he gets it. Thor's going to have to back off here. And he's just standing here. He's like, hey, I'm Ganesh. You want to see something cool? Dharmic Pillars it through. And
he got
UCSB
it.
confirms over that Ganesh ult, which I'm surprised.
I thought he got it. I was freaking out. I'm so wrong. Oh, okay. I thought he got it. I was like, oh, no, it didn't happen. That would have been really cool to see. Obviously, I would have been super excited for it because everybody likes to see the support get that steal. That's a really great play. But no, not happening. And UCSB takes advantage of it. Goes ahead and grabs the Stygian Beacon as well. So great play from them. And the team fight beforehand, fantastic. That started out really bad for them, but what I really liked is that UCSB looked at the cooldowns, looked at the situation, and were like, hey, we can turn this back around. Pele comes back from base, and they just clean it up, pick up a few kills, and that Gold Fury just ends up back in their hands.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a really good job saying, hey, we're going to run directly back over there. They overstayed their welcome by staying to kill the Kuzumbo. And because of that, we can make them pay. I mean, it was just really well executed there by UCSB. Great job by them to communicate, hey, I think we can pick up these kills, and maybe we could force the Gold Fury to go our way. If Gold Fury goes our way, maybe we get Stygian Beacon. And all just worked out to plan. Can't go wrong with that. But now Rebel Art picks up a kill in the upcoming. Not something you expect to see, too often. Usually, if the Pele can come over and get the gank in early enough, it takes the kill. But this time, Rebel will survive. Just a smidge of health left on that bar.
These solo laners, they're going to town on each other right now. Kuzumbo gets a push onto the Baba Yaga. Good amount of damage done to her. Possible reset in this. In little King DJ's future. I'm just going to start calling him King DJ for the rest of this cast because that's a mouthful. But yeah, looking like a reset in his future. But Ultimate was down for the Oleron, so that maybe explains a little bit of what happened over there in the duo lane. But that's a long cooldown, and Aegis is also down. There's a pretty decent opportunity for potential gank in that lane, and with where the Pele is on the map right now, it's possible that it could be happening right now.
Yeah, Upcoming's gonna go for this. I mean, you have the Toth ult as well. You're gonna confirm this kill.
And it's an easy kill. This one goes over to Pump Keo. Great play from him. So we see the Achilles start making his way over to mid lane. Looks like there was a call maybe for a Pyromancer. That's exactly what it was. Achilles is the one that's going to pull Pyromancer.
I don't think Anxiety's going to let this go for free. I think Anxiety's going up in the air, is going to look for the dunk down. And it's going to be a big dunk.
No,
there it is.
Let it go. good. Gets him off of the Pyromancer at the very least. Doesn't really continue to attack targets. Now they're going to turn their attention. Kuzumbo actually goes down to Tyler Childers, gets the execute. Now he's going to look for a little bit more damage. There's no way he gets out of this one alive unless his team steps in and starts getting him out. Unfortunately, Kamazotz gets up into the air, picks himself up a solo laner, and trade for the support. Now Pele, the lifesteal coming up huge and keeping him alive there just long enough. Turns around and tries to put Thor into a zone of silence, but he's not really that worried about it. Kamazotz should have been gone a long time ago, and Rival Arc shows him why. Thor dove in, gets stuck inside of the time dilation, and he's just gone. Now it's Thoth having to make his escape, and it's a 4 for 3, 2 for 1, 3 for 1 trade. Yeah, 3 for 1 trade in favor of Kentucky.
I'm not gonna lie, I really thought Pump was about to go absolutely insane with that rotation. The autos coming through, I was like, oh my god, he's about to go crazy. Unfortunately, they were able to run at him and zone him off, but now it's Kentucky looking for an Oni Fury. And this is a really good play by them. They know that the only people that could possibly be around are this Kuzumbo. Upcoming's on the way. So you have USBC upcoming there trying to contest this, and they will contest it. Kentucky still hasn't dropped it. They are going to fight for the Pele, but the question is who's going to get this Gold Fury?
It looks like it's going to eventually go over. Somebody's diving the backline right now. It's so low. Kentucky are able to confirm, but Thor lands down on top of 3. Home Sweet Home's going to cut off some of the chase potential. Oh, he blocks the house with the Thor wall. What a play. Witchfire bolts flying around everywhere. So much damage onto backline targets. Thought's going to come in. Doesn't get the root onto the Baba Yaga. He's trying to throw some damage through walls. Baba actually is going to be able to escape with the help of his support and the solo laner, but that was such a good Thor wall. I'm so upset that he didn't die.
Yeah, I mean, Kentucky got real lucky there. It really looked like that Thor was about to come out with some big numbies at the end of that fight and a few kills. And they're able to turn around. They're able to stay around. Upcoming in trouble. Body blocked into the wall, and now has to just run away.
Pele just took so much damage, and now the Pyromancer getting turned back and forth. Achilles is also really low. One strong ability, and it's going to be Overload that picks him up. But the rest of Kentucky are here now. Kamazotz blinks past the Bastet. I don't even know if Bastet knew that he was there, up into the air, and he's going to find that last bit of damage, and Anxiety Overload will fall right behind his own jungle, or his own support. Kuzumbo ult does back everyone off. Unfortunately, that ultimate didn't connect onto the right target. Did push out the Bastet, but now it's the rest of Kentucky falling slowly. Only VMS Froggy makes it out alive. Kamazotz wandering around in the jungle, trying to find another target. They know where this Bastet is. They're waiting for her to make some kind of move. Jump comes out, misses the 2. Blink comes out. He's going to go ahead and make the escape he was looking for.
Froggy missed an ult there, and I think if that ult connects, we're talking about a completely different fight there. Unfortunately for UCSB, they end up just kind of fragging out.
What the heck? Ultimate comes out from Ganesh and just doesn't lock down the Thoth, so he gets out. The classic support fight under Beacon. I'm going to hit you, and you're going to hit me, and nothing's going to happen.
Yeah, let them 1v1. Whoever gets it gets the beacon. That's the key here. You know, that's what really should happen. Let the supports have their fun.
This is the fight we've been waiting for. That's what we were looking for. It's like the meme from SpongeBob. That's what we've been waiting for.
Yep.
Anyways, after the most boring punchies you've ever seen, Pyromancer is getting pulled. Looks like it's going to go the way of Kentucky. Kuzumbo is going to slow down the roll. UCSB gets the confirm. Up into the air goes the Thor. Achilles uses the ultimate, lands down on the Baba Yaga, though. Dankshaw is going to pick up that kill onto King DJ. Now they're turning their attention back over to the Achilles. They can knock the solo laner out. This could potentially turn into a fire giant. Pele is so low. Surprised to see her going back in there. Thor wall. Thor dashes over the wall, then Thor walls, and it blocks off his entire team from chasing the Ganesh, but probably better they didn't go after him. I don't think they kill him. At least not very quickly.
I don't know how this game goes. I don't know who wins. I don't know who loses. But I can tell you this: these Thor walls are insane. Like if I'm in this game as Kentucky, I'm having nightmares over, over these Thor walls tonight because they have just been on point. They've blocked people off. They've been hitting the stuns. They've just been going absolutely wild here for UCSB, just really hunkering down the team fights for them. And now, upcoming goes in.
Ultimate's going to come out from the Pele. There's still 3 members around. He's going to get slowed down by that Dharmic Pillars, trying to make his way over to his ADC. Oh, the root comes through. Ultimate's going to come through, and VMS Froggy finds the kill he was looking for onto the jungle. Upcoming down and out for the count. 40 seconds on that respawn timer. I'd like to see these 4 members between mid and left lane group up on this Gold Fury.
Yeah, I think Gold Fury needs to be the call here. You're down 5,000 gold, or roundabouts, maybe 4,700 is more accurate. But that's hamburger, cheeseburger at this point. You need to go for that Gold Fury and try to round out some of this gold lead to be more in your favor and cut it down. But you see UCSB has made the rotation in now that Kentucky has dropped the Gold Fury and a fight ensues.
Yep, Smelly Thumb. That was hard to say. Smelly Thumb. He goes down. I'm laughing because I don't know why I tried to say that. And that's the only person that they lose. But I think Kentucky willing to make that trade every day of the week, especially with the deficit they have. Go ahead and take my support. We got the Gold Fury.
Yeah, I went to go say Thelmy Thumb earlier and really found it to be a little bit of a mouthful and told myself for the rest of the game it's thumb. Because that is a word that I can say consistently without doing something dumb. And then that's more on me than anyone else. But I felt that pain because I was also trying to say it earlier, and I was like, it's just Ganesha or thumb. Just Ganesha or thumb.
Sorry, Smelly, but I'm not calling you Smelly all game. That's very hard to say. We have fun here. Anyways, Thor walking around in the jungle, catches a root and a flash from Bastet. A little bit of return damage from the Thor as well, but not nearly as much. Actually, Bastet's kind of low. My goodness, Camazot jumps over the wall, misses the one. That's going to be the end of that. But now there's 4 members of Kentucky hovering around this right side jungle. Ultimate's going to come out, connects onto Thor. Beads are going to get used as well. Dharmic Pillars doesn't keep anyone inside. That's 2 huge ultimates from Kentucky. If there's going to be another fight around the corner, Kentucky does not want to take it anywhere other than by a tower.
Yeah, I'm curious to see about what's going to go on with this Fire Giant because I feel within, by the time we strike 25 minutes, 30 seconds is kind of where I'm feeling Fire Giant's going to get pulled. Is it going to get taken down? I don't know. But I think right now we're on a ticking time bomb of when that happens, especially with these ultimates down for the brief amount of time they will be. They need to fight around this Oleron. Oleron needs to be a part of these fights. You just need it. You need the time dilation to really mess people up. You need the rectangle, preferably with a square in it from Ganesha. So that's something to watch out for. I mean, the space control inside and outside of that ultimate could be huge. As we see the poke on the Thor becoming a little bit drastic.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage. Dharmic Pillars comes back off a cooldown. There's no way that they're going to kill him, but he will be able to get up into the air. So that means he's not in fear of death. Actually, he lands right back down where he was. Looks at the Achilles. Ultimate's going to come out from Tyler, and he will pick up another kill for himself. Pele now going to try and return the favor for his solo laner. The stun is so strong. This Achilles is just going absolutely insane in his own lane. VMS Froggy will find Dankshaw, Revelark will find Pump Keo, and it's almost all the members of UCSB. Kuzumbo will not be here much longer. VMS kills him with the dot damage, and now Kentucky 5 members still alive. We're gonna go ahead and pull this Fire Giant.
Hey, you remember that that gold lead? It's gone now. Yeah, Kentucky decides that they wanna fight together as a full 5-man. And decide to run it down. Upcoming's going to go try to dissuade them from taking this Fire Giant. We'll pick off 1, which is good. I mean, they're still going to get the fire. It's obviously you're not going to get on your carry. That's a little sad. But it's still a Fire Giant to now take the lead with at least gold in the game. Kills are still even. And this goes a long way for Kentucky's confidence. Not that they were playing poorly at all. I think they just kind of got outdone with a few of the objectives early on. And now, this is where their team top kind of comes alive. You have 3 assassins on the enemy team. And it's not the situation we saw in the Division 3 game where we had, a Rathasker building tanky. The only one building tanky is the Thor in solo, which makes the most sense. So this is something to watch out for. I mean, if you can pick off these assassins early, that's going to be a scary time.
Yeah, and one thing I got to point out is that I really like the play from Upcoming there to go ahead and try and snag the kill on the reveal arc, keep him from getting that fire giant buff. It was the best decision he could have made. There's not really a chance that a Pele has super huge secure steal potential on a fire giant, especially among 5 members. So getting in there, getting that kill onto the ADC, that's going to help out immensely in this upcoming siege defense or upcoming fight over this Gold Fury, if it ends up being one of those. Because now at least he doesn't have that fire giant power buff and that fire giant sustain. It's gonna maybe be the difference, I think, because I think even in UCSB's case, where they're now the ones with the deficit, they should still take this fight. I
Oh,
think even if
100%.
this is if this turns into a Gold Fury fight, I think they absolutely should take it. But
Yeah.
Achilles doing a really good job of zoning right now. So he's going to keep a few members busy. Baba Yaga also going to help out, throw a little bit of damage over the wall. Now it's all 5 members of Kentucky here. Kuzenbo has to use the ultimate just to CC immune the Dharmic Pillars. Ultimate over the wall, pulls the Kuzenbo right back where he was. He's locked down, throwing into the air, and Reveal Arc gets the last bit of damage that he was looking for. And that's the support down for UCSB. Achilles going to tank
From
that
behind.
tower. The stat going to jump over the wall. Thor comes from behind. Thor wall only stuns 1. Oleron's actually tanking the tower right now. Complete reset, though, and that's going to fix that problem. Minions in the mid lane right now for Kentucky. They might try to go for this Phoenix. That's exactly what they're going to do. The Achilles ults in, doesn't have a target, but he's just trying to get close. Now he's taking so much damage because he's so deep. Pele's going to find a way to fall. No, she'll survive this. Achilles is still getting chased around. The mid Phoenix does go down, so they did get the prize that they were looking for, but what do they lose for it? Achilles is still alive in this Titan room. Finally going to have to take him down. Upcoming will get that kill. Baba Yaga uses the home sweet home. Went way too deep with the solo laner. And that'll give Upcoming another kill. Dharmic Pillars just for the peel. But this time, it may not be enough. Bastet does have enough mana. Oleron ult's going to come out. And he's going to have to, Camazon's going to have to go up into the air. Pump Keo goes down almost instantly. VMS finds a kill onto Upcoming. And it's turned around once again. Only 2 members of Kentucky are alive. VMS finds his way into the grayscale. Ganesha probably not much longer behind that.
I didn't know we were playing arena.
I didn't
This is really crazy, especially that the support gets a triple kill in the fight. But what turned out to be really, really great play by Kentucky. I mean, I think they just needed to get the Phoenix and just leave. I mean, I really think that's what needed to happen at that time. But they see a bunch of low health bars, and I mean, I'm with them. UCSB, Pele gets out. Toth has to use it. Aegis gets out, and really and truly, those 2 characters in most cases probably would have died. So it's nice to see them, decide to go a little ham and try to make it happen. There's a Titan push from the Phoenix will be dealt with by the Baba Yaga here. But this gives Kentucky a lot of options. I mean, yes, they're down in kills. They still have the gold lead, and they have that mid-Phoenix. So some things to watch out for as Achilles decides to execute USBC.
Ooh, almost gets the double kill, the double ultimate. Still probably going to get this Camazot's ultimate's going to come out. Knock up from Upcoming. That'll be enough damage to put him down. Now Baba Yaga once again trying to help his solo laner. That's how you died last time. Are you sure you want to play that like that, King DJ? Anyways, one thing that is good that comes out of that is that they bought enough time and, they got lucky and their Titan happened to be the one that won the 1v1 over in the right lane. So as you pointed out, Tier 2 tower goes to them. You lost your Phoenix, but it's your mid Phoenix. That's the easiest to defend. You go to fight in Gold Fury, you're able to push these waves from mid and go to Gold Fury. Fight at Fire Giant or Pyromancer, you can still push these waves. Mid Phoenix probably is your best case scenario right now. Obviously, right King is going to go down one up over there. So good things happening over for UCSB. There's not a lot to worry about. You still can defend this fairly easily. This is by no means game set match. Baba Yaga though, all alone, way too far up. Bastet gonna chase Pele away. So not too many concerns there. The rest of his team shows up. Pyromancer is getting pulled. UCSB, they are aware of this going on though. Kentucky are gonna confirm that. Looks like the Thoth ult did get used to try and steal. Ganesh gets pushed back, stun onto Achilles, who tried to blink in and help his support. Didn't really see that. Don't really think that was necessary. So a blink and a Ganesh ult has been used. A pretty short timer on that Ganesh ult, so I see that coming back soon. Achilles, though, he's still stuck. Achilles ult's going to come out just to gain some distance here. He's really low, and he's baited his entire team into a really bad fight. Oleron ult gets used just to escape. He's stuck against the wall. Pele trying to find the 1v1. Lil King DJ finds a kill, but Dangshaw will pick him up right after the fact. Kuzenbo locking down the Bastet. Achilles still alive in this fight, by the way. Pele's going to show up. VMS Froggy will find Dankshaw. Pele took some damage from somewhere, and Tyler will pick him up. And it's Thor over the wall. A blink from Bastet, so they're still chasing him down. He probably won't survive much longer. A stun to put him down for just a moment. The silence to keep him from escaping, but he didn't keep it up. He's still alive, but the fight's over.
And this is going to be a free enhanced fire for Kentucky. I mean, I don't know how Tyler lives there.
I don't
Because I would say 99 out of 100 times that Achilles dies.
I think I know why. Prophetic.
Oh yeah, I mean yeah, it's prophetic, but I mean still, like I'm just amazed. I just 99 out of 100 times, your Oleron doesn't make the play of ulting and baiting the whole entire enemy team except for the Pele to coming to that fight, and you get to escape. Like it just doesn't happen. So great plays on Kentucky. I wish we had like the tech to listen into their player comms, because I would love to know just how that fight went. To take nothing away from UCSB, I think they played that fight absolutely well. It's just the fact of you jumped into an Oleron ult and it did what it needed to do. Unfortunately, it just didn't go your way. I mean, look, everything when it started off looked like it was UCSB and USCB only. The problem is now they're at a 10K deficit at 32 minutes. You have Kentucky that most likely should be going for Oni Fury pretty soon, and I imagine they're going to look to take that last tier 2 tower and then some Phoenixes off the map.
Yeah, and we saw those two towers that were up, potentially the last bastion of hope. No pun intended. Bastions are gone for them, but now that that's gone, only a tier 2 left on the left side. Oni Fury at half health, so that's likely going to go completely uncontested by UCSB. Going to help these waves push in. This push is going to be tough. You've got your Oleron ult. Everyone on Kentucky has their relics up. You're still waiting on a couple of your relics to come up. 23 seconds on Beads for Thor. 23 seconds for Aegis on Thoth. Should be up by the time this Phoenix starts getting pushed. But what I like here is this Achilles. He's already been a huge threat in this game. Look at his health bar. It's massive. And he's going to continue to be that threat. Going to blink past the Phoenix, dives right in, tanks for his team, sits right on the Thoth, Dharmic Pillars. Going to start doing what it's supposed to do. Thoth goes up into the air, just doesn't land on a target, and the ultimate comes out from the Oleron. Left side bird finally goes down, and it's still 5 fairly healthy members of Kentucky. Going to turn over to this mid Phoenix now. It's going to fall fairly quickly. Baba Yaga, though, got left behind at some point. Heroism shield comes up massive. He's still likely to fall. Upcoming, going to pick that up. Ganesh falls right behind.
Oh my
Reveal
God.
Arc finds him a kill, but not until Pump Keo picks that up. There's so many kills going in so many different directions. VMS picks up SCB. 2 members left alive. It's the jungle and the solo for Kentucky, and they're calling the end call here. They've got Oni Fury waves pouring in from the left side, fire waves pouring in from the middle. They're likely not going to kill this Thoth. The Aegis comes out, ultimate misses, maybe not. I think he was trying to hit the Titan with that, and it's a shutdown onto VMS Froggy, who finally goes down for the 3rd time this game. 11-3 scoreline.
Oh my God.
Achilles, though, he's going to try to take this right side bird. Stun onto Thoth, ultimate charging up. He uses it to clear the lane. Now Achilles is stuck tanking that Phoenix.
Tyler's like Tyler's full sending it, doing his best Hydra impression right now.
He really is. He's doing a lot, and he's keeping him busy. But I don't think he's going to be able to stay here much longer. The rest of UCSB is coming up off of respawn timers. So is Kentucky, though. But the main thing here is Kentucky were able to pull 2 birds off of that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the real thing is here is like Kentucky hits those two birds. They kind of flex their potential of what they can do with that enhanced fire. That's now only left on Tyler for a few moments, and then the next enhanced fire coming up here soon. But Kentucky kind of flexes their lead and shows why they are known as the Giant Killers in previous seasons. And the Stygian Beacon will go their way here. And if I'm UCSB, I'm really just kind of thinking about who is the problem I need to take out. And I mean, it comes down, it's Froggy. Froggy is 11, 3, and 10 on this Bastet, has been able to go to the back line and really cause a lot of problems and hop out. Obviously, that's on the back of having an Oleron ult, you having the home sweet home, and Dharmic Pillars. Everything is setting up to allow this Bastet to be that menace to the back line. And then when it comes to that, that's something you have to think about when you're UCSB. And can we kill that target when they jump in?
Oh my goodness.
And,
Thor barely makes it up into the air. Kuzumbo, though, he's going to get left behind. Time for you to go back to your river, bud, because you're not making it out of here. King DJ gets the last hit. 5 members of Kentucky running it down mid lane. This could be the game. Off all by himself right now, standing at the Phoenix. A little bit of a risky position. There's 4 members of UCSB here to defend. And Oleron ult's going to come out. Bastet leaps in onto the Titan. It's going so fast! And it's Titan dead. UCSB unable to defend. And Kentucky, once again, proving why they earned the nickname the Giant Slayers as they finish this game off, killing off one of the biggest giants in this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, just really well executed by Kentucky. Kind of like a slow burn, right? Like it was going, like they're a little bit behind, then they pick it up, and they pick it up, and they pick it up, and then next thing you know, they went from walking, jogging to running full speed, and really put the pressure there on UCSB. And before we look at the stats and break down the game on the stat sheet, I do want to mention that this season of Collegiate Smite is brought to you by AGL and NECC, which is the National Esports Collegiate Conference. This is the second season that the two Titans have teamed up and provided the best competition that Collegiate Smite has been able to see and offer. If you're interested in joining in the future, make sure to reach out to Majin, April, Nuke in the AGL and NECC Discord. And obviously, that doesn't have to be just playing. You could also reach out about being production, casting, spectator, mod, all that type of thing. If that's something you're interested in helping out with Collegiate Smite, make sure to reach out and let us know.
Well, great stuff going on there. And if anything we saw in this game is anything to say about what the rest of the season, I mean, this kickoff tournament was insane. These finals matches, fantastic gameplay. All the way from Division 3 up to Division 1. Although this time it's a little different. It's not the comp that has the weird team that wins. It's not the weird team that won the game this time. The last 2 games we watched, it was the weird team that didn't have a traditional comp. It was the traditional comp that comes out on top. Of course, it was piloted by the one of the best teams in Division 1. But I gotta say, first thing that stands out to me, Tyler. Tyler put up an amazing solo performance. I don't care about the 5-8 and 14 score line. I care about the 45,000 top player damage solo laner in the lobby. Alongside that, just under 100,000 damage mitigated. This guy was a trooper. The hard carry of this game next to the jungle. The dive from Kentucky in this game is really what held this team together from where I'm sitting.
I have one thing to say. 0 wards. 0 wards.
Wow.
From Froggy.
Yeah.
And I'm
Wow.
offended, okay? These
Dude's out
junglers
there playing casuals.
these junglers need to get it together, okay? Like wards exist. Quit depending on everybody else to do it. Like, throw 1 or 2 down throughout the game,
Yeah.
Just saying, like, throw some wards out there. I'm glad you went 11-3 and 11, but help your team out.
You remember before the shards when we used to get a free one and it used to always be the argument of like,
yeah.
oh, you have a free one. Well, now he doesn't have a free one anymore, so he gets an excuse.
That
like, oh,
okay, honestly,
I'm
that
just
used to
hard
drive me insane when I see 0 wards and that was in the game. I'm like, you literally have a free ward. Like, get out of here. But no, I mean, just really well executed by Kentucky. UCSB is going to be a team to watch as well. I'm curious to see how the AP pools, go this week. Now the kickoff tournament has been completed. I think those are going to get really, really interesting. But next week, we're back with another night of Collegiate Smite at Monday, 6 p.m. EST. Keep an eye out in the Discord on who's going to be broadcasted those nights. And we might have some other broadcasts on other channels from time to time as well. So make sure to keep an eye on the Discord just to see when Collegiate Smite's getting casted. I love casting collegiate games. This is my second season doing it. And these games are always a fun time.
Absolutely. I had a great time. This was quite the show, and if this is what to expect from the finalists, I can only imagine what the rest of the Collegiate League is going to look like. But regardless of that, it's been a fantastic night here with you, Blaze, and I'm Freaky G. Thank you to production once again, and Red Rosie Panda, and
Nate.
Nate. So, and everyone else that joined us here tonight. Y'all have a wonderful evening, and make sure to join us next weekend.
Peace.